soon. This button here, and then I'll have audio. Yep, I have audio now, and it looks to be live. Alright, hello Internet! This is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9003, episode 94. 95. I can count.
Wow.
This is your host, SneakyDevil.
Alright.
Tonight, we don't have Max Force, and we don't have Atin. Instead, we have
freedom.
Gray, the Norwegian, and Nonsensical
Gaming.
Rants joining us once again. And let's see if we can't find a good story to really scrub that noodle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Scrub that noodle.
Scrub the noodle.
Well, databases in a little bit, but I can stay for a little shit.
How do you feel about Naruto and Warcraft?
Naruto I used to love up until the tree thing. That was stupid.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That was stupid, and I stopped watching after the Six-Tailed versus Pain because that was betrayal.
Yeah. Also
Yeah.
fair.
I love the magic in it, and I love the some of the character design. Hate most of it.
The magic.
Like if you give me that premise of how this magic works, I'm like, oh, I could work with.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh wow. He showed up.
Okay. Alright, what'd I miss?
Nothing.
so far.
Nothing of interest.
We're doing a Naruto Warcraft story.
Oh, good.
As soon as I remember.
Well,
how to
good
copy
is
and paste
relative.
it. Nope, that's B.
Alright.
So this
Crack
is
this
a Naruto
shit.
Warcraft story. I'll switch that on over and turn the timer off so you can all follow along. Of course, I'm mandated by Twitch to periodically remind everyone that you are not to harass the authors of these fanfictions, blah 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 blah. Transient
news.
guest are we, a Naruto Warcraft crossover. In
Oh,
another bid to destroy Ice Crown, Illidan summons a demon from another world and just fucking yeets him straight at the Lich King.
Oh, interesting tactic.
King
I,
Ar... wait, what? King Arthas?
Arthus.
Arthus.
I'm sorry, what?
King Arthus knew his strength and decided the fate of this boy, this Naruto, to become Death Knight.
how
What?
how did he? That's
Ye-
supposed to be Arthas with an A, right?
Yeah.
That's so far away on the keyboard. How do you fuck that up?
Intentionally.
It was
See,
probably intended.
this isn't
It's
King
cooler
Arthas.
that way.
This is an AU with King Arthus.
Yeah, he's actually Canadian.
I'm glad. I'm glad
Arthas?
someone got there before.
Before you continue,
Yeah.
have you really done 9,000 episodes of this bullshit?
Oh yes, absolutely. I've definitely
Oh,
done
yeah.
1,000 episodes of this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure I believe you.
It's been 4,500
Quiet.
weeks.
Would someone lie on the internet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You do constantly. Is Rance just super quiet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have him at
Yeah.
200%. It's the best I
I've
can
done
do.
180.
Sorry about that. I did lose my good Bluetooth headphones. These
That's
are the other ones I've
unfortunate.
never used before.
That's how it be sometimes.
I've never used these ones to make a call before, and it'll be a few weeks.
So I'm really confused by this set of scenarios where Illidan is like, all right, I gotta summon a powerful demon, and so he summons the demon and then just yeets him at Arthas,
Does
and then
he?
Arthas catches the demon and is like, yo, man, this demon is actually a human, and this human could be turned into a Death Knight.
Oh, yeah, as you do.
Because reasons.
Why, of
Even though the
course.
Death Knight procedure was specifically saved for powerful warriors, because most people couldn't survive being infused with that much death energy, as they would kind of just turn into
Warriors and paladins.
mindless creatures.
Or die?
Yeah, they would kind of like really die, like double die.
Oh. I'm gonna be real with you though. The only thing I know about Warcraft for certain,
Yeah,
most of it I learned from another Naruto Warcraft fanfiction.
that's terrible.
Oh god.
I feel bad for you.
And it wasn't just Naruto Warcraft. It had Lord of the Rings. It had
Oh,
it was everything.
Yeah, every
You know,
single
I'm
word
gonna
you
take a
said.
drink just for that.
It was a crossover mainly with Overlord, with Warcraft, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
and
that's another shot right
Wow.
there.
I every
I
single
feel
word
bad for
uttered-
you.
It actually wasn't bad, aside from the premise, how it started off terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst Naruto fan. Really
Well,
not.
that's we'll just have to agree to disagree, because I hope I never find it to actually be able to agree with you.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, this is Naruto times Warcraft. I don't know if that's supposed to be the romance, or if the author is just really confused in what section he's posting in.
Possibly both.
It's possible. I always love that, where it's like, hey guys, just thought I'll let you know this is a Naruto Warcraft crossover. It's like, oh great, thank you. Too bad you already put it in the Naruto Warcraft section. Otherwise, I would have been
Wow,
completely
really?
lost when you were mentioning
No
King Arthas
way.
resurrecting Naruto. I just wouldn't have been able to
Nice.
guess that crossover.
Well, of course you wouldn't. It's Arthus.
Yeah, that's right, King Arthus. My bad.
People who come at it not knowing it's a crossover, just going through the regular section, because crossovers are thrown in the regular stuff when you're doing a search.
Well, no,
Yeah.
crossovers don't show up with regular stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, if they lie and just make it appear.
Oh, well,
lyric
yeah, I mean,
description.
yeah, I guess if they don't mark off that their story is a crossover, it shows up in the...
Yeah, and that's what's commonly known as a cunt move.
Yeah, it's a pretty cunt move. I do remember, Rance, we did have one guy a while back where we found his story, and it was a massive crossover between, like, multiple different properties, but he listed it as, like, Ruby only. and I left a review saying, real cunt move, just, putting this in the Ruby section. He's like, well, no one would read it if I put it in the real section.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Wait, was he a guest as well?
Was he what?
Did you invite him on as a guest? Or,
Well, I think he blocked me, so... I don't think if I did, I don't think he gave an affirmation on that one.
What a shame.
A sword. Myth says that the lands were made when the gods lifted a coral sword from the ocean. No, neither myth. Neither Naruto myth nor Warcraft myth ever said that.
Oh wait, are you actually reading the story now? Is that
Yeah,
in the story?
I'm actually reading the story now. He's already wrong with the first sentence.
I think I'll go.
Okay.
Adios.
Adios, amigo. Coral sword from the ocean, and 4 perfect drops fell back. Perfect drops of what? Coral or the ocean? It is a weapon that has both protected and murdered. It's not an evil weapon. No, Frostmourne
You
was
don't
pretty
know
good.
that.
Like even back in 2001, the Frozen Throne, it was very blatant that Frostmourne was a very evil weapon. So Max.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Hmm?
This is clearly an evil sentient. Well, is it sentient?
Yeah, sentient. Yeah.
Okay. I love when people do. It's like lore explicitly states evil sentient sword. Fandom. It's a good boy. No, it's not.
No, like it gets even better than that, Max, because the deal, I guess you could call it, the deal for gaining the power of Frostmourne, this sword, was that you had to murder your best friend with it.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Sharingan sword.
that.
Sharingan sword.
Frostmourne had no chill.
We're still going to say it's not evil.
Which is,
though,
well, I
right?
mean, grade, that's kind of ironic.
And then on top of that, the other bargain that you had to strike with the sword is that every person you killed, you would feed its soul to the sword in exchange for the power.
Oh yeah, nice you do.
And it ate your soul first.
Yeah. Definitely not an evil sword, guys.
No,
It's just misunderstood.
It's just a misunderstood sword.
Yeah.
Fucking play that clip. Oh, I almost want to search for that clip. Where someone, it's this clip of someone reading a poster that someone was putting up at a library, and it says, like, books are not things. They are, it's paper filled with hopes and dreams, and then someone slams down Mein Kampf onto the table.
Oh, I think I know what clip you're talking about. I'm pretty sure you shared that with me a while ago.
I did, yes.
Based?
Yeah, no, that's the kind of thing where it's like, Sneaky, you know this about me. I try to avoid saying, like, weird flowery stuff.
Because
That's
weird
partially
flower,
why.
Yeah, weird flowery stuff tends to bite you in the ass when you try to be very idealistic about shit. Well, it's like, well, this is also a book that has been made, so are we gonna keep with the theme?
Oh, Sneak, it's even worse. Don't forget, it was literally the hopes and dreams and ramblings of Hitler.
Yeah, I know.
It literally
Exactly.
fits the.
I know. It
Hopes
literally
and
fits
dreams,
it.
boys.
Yeah, nails it,
Thoughts and minds. Whatever.
I gotta say though,
Heart
is
and
Ame showed her power level a little bit.
Oh
when,
boy.
Yeah.
Kiara
What-
and Callie were playing A Way Out, and Ame referred to the Jewish character's nose as a large overhanging beak.
Bird beak.
It's like showing your power level a little bit there. But anyways, Naruto slashed the things. That's one thing that I had to constantly do whenever Gray is writing. He'll write things, and I'm just like, oh, I hate things. I hate it when writers use the word thing. Unless it's like specifically dialogue from someone, I hate it when it's narratively used. Like the
Why?
things, because it's not descriptive.
No, it's not. But depending on the genre, that's usually fine. But this doesn't seem like it's horror genre, so
Right,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying though, is like thing can actually be used. Like it's an undescribable thing.
as H.P. Lovecraft showed with
The
his
creatures, the
right.
undead humans, the golem, the statue, the laser, like you can there's so many other words you can use other than thing, unless it's literally undescribable. You have no method of describing it. It's a writhing mass, maybe. But thing is also appropriate to be used at that point. But I just feel like just being like, oh yes, the thing is over there, and it's like
It's that thing.
it's the thing. Naruto
Okay.
slashed the things chasing him. What, Max?
Can we at least agree that as long as it's capitalized, it's probably okay?
I mean, if it's
Like
capitalized, it's
if
probably a
that's
literal.
literally the
Yeah,
name for it.
yeah.
That's one of the few exceptions.
That's the thing. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can agree obviously with that because that's literally a noun then instead of a no. It's a pronoun, right? Pronoun. Something.
Proper noun.
Proper noun. There we go.
Yeah.
I was
Thing.
progressing there.
It's a thing.
I was making my way downtown. With the sword in his hands, they all froze as the blade hit them, and those that didn't die shattered when his fist followed it. Wait, hold on. How would he be able to punch
Wait.
them?
Wait.
Right, that's just fucking awkward.
Yeah. All right. I'm listening, Max. Go ahead.
Like
hang on, I'm taking. Okay, if the
Wait.
sword is in his hands,
Yes,
both
hands,
of
yep.
his hands.
did he
Both
grow a
hands.
third arm? No, it's
Yep.
hands, so he'd still be using all three arms.
Wait, so he swung the
Uh,
sword and then either let go or punched while holding the grip.
I guess he could have swung
Wait.
and then taken one of his hands and just fucking
Yeah, but
backslapped. But
that's fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Because it's a
Don't-
fist, so
don't-
he's
don't-
punching.
Don't commit
Right.
to using hands in a fight scene unless you're absolutely certain that they're going to never let go of the weapon. Otherwise, it
much,
gets
yeah.
messy.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, like as long as he's not using a great sword,
Well.
you can one hand a long sword. It's not recommended. But
Yeah,
you
but you
can.
know
what does? Okay, I'm gonna go look up what Frostmore is
Yeah.
supposed to look like.
It's a long
Frostmourne's
sword.
a long sword.
Yeah, but it was
Okay,
also
but if
specified
it's
he's using both hands.
okay, but if it's wide enough, you would need to use both hands.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's
Basically,
pretty
a long sword. It's a long sword with a couple of jagged edges at the very beginning of it at the hilt.
At first, Arthas uses Frostmourne as a two-handed longsword, but he eventually switches to a one-handed grip once he gets a lot stronger.
Yeah, but still, in this
okay,
case, that's not really relevant.
No,
is the
you know.
Lich King like a normal human?
not anymore. No.
No, I mean like normal, like
Nice.
human sized, or is he?
He's
Technically,
slightly
yes.
bigger.
Okay, yeah, Naruto should probably be two-handing this because compared to the Lich King, this thing seems more of Claymore length to the Lich King, so it looks a
Yeah.
good deal heavier than a normal longsword.
Yeah.
If you're
it would be.
using the in-game stuff, they made him bigger for being able to fight him.
Oh, not
those
even in game,
purposes.
and I'm just looking at this sick ass concept art.
Oh yeah, no, the concept
I'm
art's
looking at
fucking
this.
great.
I'm
Oh
looking
yeah,
at this sick ass art.
the concept art for WoW is amazing. I love it.
The art
Yeah.
team is amazing at
It
their
is a
job.
tool that has been often used for evil purposes. But nobody would say a sword is evil. Only
I
men
would.
can be evil. First off, again, sword's pretty fucking evil. Literally, the deal to get the sword from the sword is murder your best friend. I'm pretty sure a non-evil sword wouldn't be like, yeah, so to use me, you have to kill your best friend.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, buddy.
And it's also got to be in
Okay.
cold blood.
Okay,
Gotta
hang
get
on.
that KDR up.
Wait, no.
Hang
Crossborn
on,
was an accident with that thing.
Oof. Could the sword
Whoop.
trick someone stupid enough and thinking it's like, why do I have to kill my best friend? Well, it's the only way I can really get to know you. You know, they'll live here in the sword with me.
It straight up says on the plinth to retrieve the sword. To retrieve this sword, you must slaughter those closest to you.
Well, I mean.
All
that's
right,
it.
never mind. They
Fairly
literally covered
obvious.
every base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well.
pretty blatant about what it expects of you.
Yeah.
And Arthas
No
straight
extra
shit
odds.
was just, and his friend who was with him was like, "Yo, Arthas, this looks like a trap and actually a terrible idea." And Arthas is like, "No price is too much."
Whomsoever
sorry,
takes up this
Meriden.
blade shall wield power eternal, just as a blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit. That was the plaque.
Yeah, it's very not subtle. Very unsubtle. A lot of murder.
Yeah, it hitting Muradin, I think it was.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Murden. Yeah.
Merton.
That was the accident because it just shattered the ice. It's when
No,
he
it
picked it up.
wasn't an accident. It was quite literally, if you take this sword, your friend's gonna die, sort of thing.
That was he did that intentionally on Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, he obviously ganked
Muradin
Morganis
got
intention.
it knocked out.
No, Murden got hit by the curse of the blade. By retrieving the blade, the curse hit Murden to kill him. That was the price to be paid. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Whatever.
A stronger creature than the ones that chased him appeared before Naruto. It wasn't after him, like the things, and he had just moved closer to it. Rune, oh my god. Rune blade in hand, known as Frozen Fury.
I'm sorry, what?
All right, is Frozen Fury a canon thing, or is this a...
No, he is inventing. There's only
Okay.
one rune blade on Azeroth.
Oh, I see. I see what he's doing. He's trying to avoid copyright, you see. That's why it's Arthas. And why it's Frozen Fury.
Arthas using Frozen Fury, yeah.
Exactly. You gotta avoid getting a YouTube strike on this fanfiction.net account.
Oh yeah, of course. Don't want to avoid that YouTube strike on your fanfiction account.
Community guideline strike, you know. DMCA takedown.
Honestly, why doesn't Rooster Teeth just DMCA all of the Ruby fanfiction?
I mean, they probably could. There's a list of authors who, you know, got fix taken down.
Oh yeah, no, they can. They can literally just go to the fanfiction.net team and say, no more Ruby section.
Well, they
Yeah.
should. They should hold themselves to their own standard because they fucking keep fucking hitting me with it. Ugh, you showed 10 seconds of our teaser trailer. The thing that's free. Nailed. Copyright.
Oh, you were talking over it? Commenting on it?
What's that? You were talking
What a
over
shame.
it, and it was only taking up 1/4 of your stream screen, and also it only took up a 1/200th of your episode? Nail the whole episode.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got back from
Things
YouTube
suck.
on that whole copyright strike on my account.
Do tell.
You mean our account? Thank you.
They rejected the claim, and they just automatically cut the section out of the clip.
Why can't they just do that to begin with?
It's back up now, but they just rejected the claim, and they just cut the section out.
It's kind of cringe,
And
but okay.
because of that, we now have a strike on the channel that won't disappear for about 6 months.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's very cool. Thank you, YouTube. Good thing I don't make income off that anyway, since you removed it, YouTube. Appreciate that.
What a twist.
Fucking YouTube's like, oh yeah, even though we show ads on your channel, and even though you're verified for ads, That doesn't mean we actually have to pay you those ads anymore. It's like, okay, YouTube, eat a dick. Hydration check.
Do you mean alcohol check?
I said hydration. Is it a liquid?
Closest thing I've got, yeah, it's liquid.
Excellent.
Good
All
enough.
liquids hydrate.
Exactly. There's water in it. It'll do, right?
There's water in it. Hit the
Close
claw
enough.
of the Wendigo. See, this is what I'm talking about. We didn't know it was a Wendigo until now. Suddenly, it's a Wendigo. He could have mentioned that he was being chased by Wendigos earlier. Also,
Yeah, but that
Wendigos
would take
don't
the whole
exist in
suspense out of it, you know?
Wendigos don't exist in Naruto or in Warcraft. So I'm really confused as to. Huh?
In his head canon, it does.
Wendigos do.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Lore Master Great to rescuing him.
Wendigo is basically the Yeti, if I'm remembering it correctly.
I'm sorry, what the fuck
Yeah,
did
they
WoW do to the Wendigo legend?
Oh no! WoW doesn't do
terrible
the
things.
Wendigo legend. WoW
No, what
uses
did
Wendigos.
what did they do to it?
Nothing. That's just the undead.
Oh.
But you're saying they are using Wendigo for the name of the Yetis? Because I'm pretty sure there's Yetis already in the game.
Yeah, they're one and the same,
You sure?
according to WoW, anyway. Yep.
I thought they were just called Yeti.
Oh, wait, no, the Wendigo is the big ass ones.
They're clearly Obama Snow. As in Pokemon, right? That's the name of
Yes,
it.
Obama prison.
They got introduced with different.
No. That's a Wendigo. This is a Wendigo.
Well, clearly, we're just
Of course.
blowing a bit more than that, you know? The wind was blowing hard.
But anyway, so yeah. So he spelled it W-I-N instead of W-E-N, which means this is not the thing that he's possibly
It is, in
referring
fact,
to.
Wendigos from Indonesia instead of English.
I don't particularly care.
Yeah, it's a joke.
So he's not referring to a creature either in Naruto lore or in Warcraft lore. So I'm again once more a little bit confused. Naruto charged forward, shouldering it and pushing both it and himself to the ground. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be visualizing here because he has created an original character, creature. Original creature, I suppose, yeah. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be imagining here because if he said undead, I would have been like, okay, it's just a normal undead. He can tackle that. Or if he said a Wendigo, I would have been like, okay, he's tackling a Yeti. All right, well. All right, fine. But no, he said a Wendigo, which doesn't exist in either canon, and so leaves me completely unknown as to what precisely he is fucking tackling now. Because the author also didn't tell us what they looked like.
There are things.
They're things, and now they're Wendigos. That means nothing. Things. Also, he's got a rune blade called Frozen Fury. Anyway, so, Naruto rolled forward, standing on its chest, and stabbed it in the heart. He could feel its life force sucked from it and placed into him. That's not how all rune blades work, and in fact, that's pretty much only how Frostmourne works, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Yeah, and Blades of Frozen Prince work like that, but that's just Frozen. Frostmourne.
Yeah, it's literally just Frostmourne reforged. Like, not even like Shadowmourne, which was the remnants of Frostmourne, had that power.
Shadowmourne was so many different things mashed together.
Yeah,
that it was basically an abomination of a sword. Or axe,
Well, it was
rather.
an axe, so yeah, it wasn't a sword. Anyone could tell you these things. Oh, what are we referring to? Are we referring to the previous bolded statements that swords aren't evil, men are evil? Because swords can be definitely evil. We only have a shit ton of legends about evil swords, and kind of have a reason behind it. If literally every culture comes up with legends about swords that are cursed, and that their owners always seem to go mad using them or kill other people using them, there's got to be some basis in there.
Mayhaps.
Japan went a step further, and they just had a blacksmith looking to make the perfect killing sword. He just pumped those suckers out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Murder blades.
Gotta get that burner going.
Anyway, like any weapon, it only kills when it is used to kill. No, I'm pretty sure a sword that sucks your soul out when you pierce something with it is definitely a little bit more than a normal sword.
I guess.
But
Maybe.
everyone would be wrong when saying this. Like you are, author? You're doing a really bad job of portraying it. If anything, if you really wanted to do this whole fucking bolded text, flashback to Naruto action, bolded text bullshit, I would have started off by saying, something like, many people would say that a sword is a sword, but they are wrong.
Yeah,
The
that.
sword is in fact not a sword.
Actually,
It is an
the
axe.
first. The
sword is an axe.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. To make this not sound stupid, he should have said, anyone can look at a sword and say blah blah blah, and then go from myths will say this,
Right.
but that doesn't make it evil. Blah, and then the final line here should have been, they would all be wrong. That should have been the bolded by itself at this point.
Right. And yeah, that's also a fair point. You could have kept everything in the same line that it was said in, but only bold they are wrong, Bart. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
There's Jorp.
This axe upsets me.
Oh, did you get linked Shadowmourne?
I'm looking at Shadowmourne. This thing upsets me.
Yeah.
What is this axe design?
Thank you very much, Jorp. I appreciate it.
Where's the engine?
Hey, Super Potatoes is here. Super Potatoes, what up? Anyway, so back to this garbage Naruto Warcraft crossover. Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, pretty much. He did everything wrong. Either he had to reword it at the start, or debold everything besides the "they are wrong" bit. Because that's another good narrative technique. I think actually Warcraft applied themselves in some cinematics, where it's like they say a bunch of words, but then they basically bold text it, where they either say it in a deeper tone or it's a growling tone where it's like they are wrong. And it's a good technique because it can build up, suspense in a story, but this author is just completely incompetent and managed to devalue both the bolded text and what the message he was trying to send to the audience. Because the first line in the story is saying that swords aren't evil. But everyone who knows Warcraft knows that swords can, in fact, be very evil in Warcraft.
Yes, they can be very good.
So I'm really confused.
And cringe.
I technically came with Jorp's raid. Very, very well. Anyway. Breakfast is a very important meal. Can I get a read here, even if it's not fanfiction and not cringe? Well, I mean, if you link your own writing and if it's not TOS breaking, I don't see why not.
Yeah, we've done that in the past.
No, Gray, Wendigos aren't showing up on Wellhead. That's showing up as a Wendigo. Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, yeah.
E,
Okay.
not I.
I was confusing them, yeah. Yeah, I know that's what Wendigo sounds like.
Yes, I was just saying.
You'll have to get someone to post it into the Discord because I have links on here blog.
Yep.
Let's see. Naruto had backed into a wall. Looks like this place is a good day to die, he growled at the creatures that were sent after him.
That's not a thing Naruto would ever say.
No,
this way.
it's really
Oh,
not.
alright.
In fact, I feel like... Okay, let's think about this. The only Naruto characters that would say that, unironically,
Asuma.
would probably be... Who?
Asuma.
Asuma, maybe.
Yeah, Asuma and Kakashi.
Feel like Madara would say that. The dude's a battle nut.
Yeah, I
Yell that at the
guess.
top of his lungs and just charge in. Might Guy would probably... He might say that.
He would say a variation of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And pretty much all the old generation would have some classy way of saying that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone in the new generation would say that. Rock Lee might, but he would just be following the crowd.
Yeah.
He'd be swept up by his mentor.
So anyway, the Nerubians is what actually was chasing Naruto, not Wendigos or things, but rather Nerubians. So a spider-like creature begins to hiss. You will come with us. You will serve. I serve no one or no thing. No, Naruto would more shout, I only serve the Hokage or something.
Yeah.
Because again,
Which, I mean,
the thing here is that if you're going to say, the only reasonable response to Naruto being summoned is Naruto either kicks everyone's ass, because pretty much anything post Zabuza Naruto is significantly more powerful than the immediate threats of Warcraft. I'm not talking about the grand scale threats, I'm talking about the immediate threats of, world leaders, the Chosen, Lich King before he becomes the Lich King, early
Everyday
Illidan.
person and monsters.
Maybe he could fight a dragon, maybe. But, like that's just post Zabuza Naruto. Like, literally only knowing Shadow Clones, Naruto could do a decent amount of damage to a lot of people. But this Naruto also has a Rune Blade, so that ups his killing ability even more. But
Yeah.
the problem here is that a scenario in which Naruto doesn't kick the shit out of everyone is a scenario in which Naruto is too weak to fight back initially, which is a scenario that isn't happening here, because apparently Naruto is fighting back a bunch, enough to the point where he's found a Rune Blade and has been on the run. Which is confusing to me, because if Naruto's capable of fighting back, that means he would win. And if he's not capable of fighting back, that means he's too weak, which means that they wouldn't resurrect him into anything besides maybe a zombie.
A corpse.
A fucking 10-year-old child before that. Like, what is it, 10, 11? Something like that?
Jimmy the Cruel was turned into a ghoul, which is the second level.
Yeah.
And he's a boss.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a boss in Stratholme.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
kicks people's ass.
Yeah. But, yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, so I serve no one or no thing. He would shout, I serve the Hokage. Lifted Frozen Fury and Challenge. His eyes glowed a violet blue.
No.
Oh, no.
He grimaced as he noticed the Wendigo began to stand. The undead thing stood and looked at him and said, "I exist to serve master." Okay, so again, I'm really confused as to what precisely he's referring to as a Wendigo, because Wendigos, again, do not exist in Naruto or in Warcraft. And the reason why I iterate that it's not in Naruto is because Naruto wouldn't be able to call something a fucking Wendigo if they don't exist. It would be
Yeah,
one
what's
thing
this
if he's
demon thing?
incorrectly labeling a creature as like, oh, I have seen this creature before. It is a deer, but in Warcraft, it's a musk or some shit, right? I'm aware those are two completely different creatures, but shut up. You know, it's one thing if he's incorrectly labeling a creature that is similar to something that exists in Naruto by the Naruto name, not the Warcraft name. But Wendigos don't exist in either universe, so how the fuck is Naruto calling something a Wendigo? Because he's referring to the undead Wendigo,
The
when he
power
should
of
just be
bullshit.
calling them zombies or some shit. Ghosts, undead, because those concepts existed in Naruto because Naruto is afraid of them. That's canon. It's dumb canon, but it's
Yeah.
canon.
The link is channel now. Not sure if we're even allowed to because of the site though.
Oh,
Wattpad.
Wattpad. No, Wattpad falls under fanfiction. .net's thing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We can look
Oh,
that
we
up.
also have his permission to
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
read it. So, like, if need be, we can literally just have him type in chat, "I consent to having one chapter read of this story."
You're implying something in Naruto is not dumb. Yeah, that's a fair point. I understand that. But my anger is more based around the author arbitrarily selecting the one thing that isn't Naruto to describe something that isn't in Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's like, of all the fucking words you use the one thing that doesn't exist in either.
Well, the worst part is that he used what is unaccepted spelling of Wendigo,
Yeah.
but it's like kind of disambiguous, and it would literally only be seen in just a alternate spelling of the Canadian.
No, Wendigo, W-E-N, is a term Europeans used for the Yeti, while a Windigo, W-I-N, is a term the natives used for a undead-like appearance of living creatures affected by a prion disease that caused them to go insane and have their flesh rot. Which, I mean, the natives were really fucking. By the way, Wendigos are really cool in terms of the natives and how much like lore they had around them. They didn't really understand why these creatures went insane, but they did acknowledge that they weren't like some sort of demon or some shit. They fully acknowledged that it was a living creature that had been overtaken by an evil spirit of hunger, and that you can't consume any of its flesh, or you too will fall to the evil spirit's corruption. And the only way you can solve the Wendigo problem is by burning the entire fucking area.
Based. Net
Yeah.
at all.
That,
There's only one solution. Agent Orange.
The Wendigo lore is pretty fucking metal. It's one of the few things Canada has going for it too, because it's kind of shared with Canada's natives as well.
Yeah.
Canada doesn't get shit for cool myths.
Canada and America's natives both had similar myths around it. It's actually really cool too, because it also created some interesting culture bits. I mean, obviously the Europeans, when they settled here, took advantage of. But it was things like making sure other tribes had not plentiful food, but just making sure that they would be able to survive the winter without starvation. Because they also knew that Wendigos formed from starvation and being forced to eat other creatures of the same species. And which, again, was Incredibly impressive observation on their part, because the prion disease does in fact occur when a human eats another human.
Yes. That's why cannibalism is kind of gay. I mean,
Specifically,
there's other
it's a
reasons.
protein that breaks down in the brain and the intestines. And if you consume the brain and intestines, there's always a chance that it's going to break down and infect you. Yeah, good stuff. Also, human meat's not like great, because predator meat tends to be pretty fucking awful in terms of taste and nutrition.
That's how it be.
Warning, it's not cringe, but it might be slow, but it's not cringe. I swear, it's not cringe. I've gotten a lot of feedback of it being cringe.
Sneaky, I'm just gonna warn you now.
Yeah.
You might cringe just a bit just from the first couple paragraphs. Like,
Oh, that's
just because it's not that it's bad. It's just very
Cringe.
much seems like a first or second story.
That's
kind
all
of
right. That's all right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's like,
considering what we usually read.
You know, at least he's going out and asking for criticisms, unlike some of the other people we've had who are like, my story is perfect, and anyone that says otherwise is a flamer.
yeah. So it's not a problem of it being cringe because of the content. It's just like, this writing's a little awkward.
I haven't quite hammered down it yet. Yeah. Okay,
That's all.
let's wrap this up then and get to it, because I really don't want to spend too much time on this story, because I fucking with every single paragraph I despise this author even more.
Yeah. I can't blame you because
Yeah.
he's doing everything wrong that he can. In
One
this
of the
chapter.
ghosts.
Murphy's Law.
Wait.
What can go wrong will.
One of the ghost-like ones. They're just
Ghost-like
ghosts. They're not ghost-like. They're just ghosts.
What if they like the ghosts though?
Are they ghost sexual?
Hang on,
Yeah.
what's supposed to be ghost-like? What?
The ghost-like ones.
Okay, but what
One
is
of the
occurring
things.
here?
The ghost-like ones.
The ghost-like ones. One of the things that were being
the word
things.
Not that hard to understand, Max. They're the ghost-like ones.
Yeah, they're the ghost-like ones.
As opposed to the ghost-like
Okay,
twos.
but how are they different from the ghosts?
Because they are, I guess, or something. I
They're
don't
the
know.
ghost-like ones. They're not
Okay,
ghosts.
They're ghost-like.
Okay, like, are they just a different color? Like, are these guys
They're like-
transparent green instead of transparent blue? Can they
Who
not walk
knows?
through walls? Can they
They're
float?
like.
Can they
I need
disappear and
more
fly?
info here. I need some info here, guys. You
Oh,
gotta
well,
help me.
you know, we don't have
That's
any info.
unfortunate.
No info to give.
Damn it.
Yes, you are powerful.
You are.
Our Lord isn't correct in changing you. How do you still resist him? Okay, so apparently, Naruto has already been turned into a Death Knight, and is somehow resisting the Lich King on his own.
Eat out of this fic.
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say that when a Death Knight's created, they don't just snap their fingers and walk away from an order.
No. Let's put it this way, Max. So the only way a small order, one of the smallest orders of Death Knights ever broke away from the Lich King was when the strongest holy paladin in the entire world wounded the Lich King while they were on the most sacred ground in the world. That's what let them break away.
Okay.
That's how it be.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah. But you
I'm
see,
seeing
Naruto has the
issue
power
you're
of the
taking with
Hokage.
The power of the Hokage. But
He's
yeah,
the chosen one, you see.
and
he's the boy who
even
lived.
then, it was like they didn't really they didn't fully break away. They could it was a constant thing. They could still hear the Lich King's whispers, trying to take them back under. So they never really truly broke away. It's just they were able to stop his direct control over them. And even now, you still hear the Lich King's whispers when you play a Death Knight character.
Yep.
Okay. I'm Seeing the issues you're taking with this story as far as Warcraft goes.
Yes,
I
the
understand the
author is...
Naruto ones. I understand the Naruto
Warcraft,
one
more
fully,
like war crime.
but,
You're not wrong. World of War
Yeah.
Crimes is not an inaccurate description of that game.
Exactly.
Ah, God. Okay, because there is a sword that is the very embodiment of evil, made to devour. Okay, so the author is now saying, about 6 paragraphs late, what we were saying 6 paragraphs earlier, that Frostmourne is super evil and is a soul-devouring sword of evil that kills people and eats their souls as well.
Wow.
And the
What else
world
does it
is not
devour? Their
fortunate
soul?
enough for it to be one of a kind. No, Frostmourne is one of a kind.
Well, you see, it's Frost Fury, Frozen Fury,
Yeah, Frozen Fury.
completely different.
No one controlled me, Naruto growled. The blade in his hand was not unlike the original design. This was a bastard sword meant to be held in one hand or both. Had the skull of a dragon carved into the hilt.
The author is a
of a
bastard
demon.
sword.
You're not wrong.
Well, the author
There was
has a
only one
bastard sword.
difference, and it was given much the same power. It tried to destroy the soul of Naruto when it was forced into his hand.
Oh god. The soul of Naruto.
No. Okay, so look. So what the author didn't know here, because he is writing this between 2008 and 2011, which means Burning Crusade to post Lich King, World of Warcraft wise, but Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne did come out in 2001. So while he doesn't know this right now, we know now in the new lore that Frostmourne and other rune blades came from a civilization that created the current civilization. And they were considered the strongest blades in existence due to their properties, both the soul sucking and their near unbreakableness and their power. No one's ever been able to resist their soul being consumed by Frostmourne. Period.
What a coincidence. Naruto is the first one.
What a coincidence.
Who
Naruto's
could
the
have
first
thought?
one. Yeah. Wow, shocker, right? Naruto just happens to be the first one to ever do that. You have no soul. No one will ever accept you. Okay, well at least that's fair. So this was made in
Well,
2008.
there's someone who will.
Made in 2008, but the expansion came out in 2010. Oh, that was 2010, right, Gray? Or was that 2008? Was Wrath of the Lich King 2008?
2 years for classic, 2 years for BC.
No, I thought it was 4 years for
2008.
classic. Oh, that's right. No, that's right. No, it did come out in 2000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. Yep. Okay. So yeah, no, he did start writing this at Wrath of the Lich King, so he does know quite a bit of the lore of Wrath of the Lich King, which means
Well,
he should know better.
He
should know the
should.
lore. Yes, he should. So the other thing about Death Knights is that part of resurrecting them with so much death magic actually makes them hate all living things, and if they don't go on to a constant murder spree, they'll fall into an uncontrollable rage and can begin murdering their allies and enemies alike. So yeah, he actually isn't wrong on that part. It's one of the reasons why the Death Knights are basically like a disgruntled acceptance from both factions of like, well, we hate you, but you're also really powerful and on our side nominally, so we'll tolerate you.
Virtue of the worst evil being here, you are on our side.
Yeah, literally, when you go to join the faction as a Death Knight in WoW, you have to walk through the city as everyone spits on you and throws rotten fruit at you.
Damn.
And rocks.
And rocks, yeah.
You're not allowed to kill them.
Nope. I had a spare soul.
Take revenge. They broke the NAP from Sneaky.
I had a spare soul. What the
I
fuck?
just casually have a spare soul lying around, you know.
He's got to be talking
in
about
case.
Kurama.
He might be. Naruto growled at her. Her
Kurama.
knowledge flowed into him. By growling at? Oh no, so he stabbed her. Okay. So he eats her knowledge?
yes.
That's
Stab
not
to get
how
knowledge, of course.
that works.
That's how knowledge works. Don't
At
you
one
know?
It is
time-
now.
I stabbed my teacher, and suddenly I finished school.
I know
That's how that works.
I know a lot of people that really wish that was how it worked.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, might how it works.
I know a lot of people
You
that
never
would
know.
do it regardless
Did you
of
try
getting
it?
knowledge or not.
Also true.
At one time, she was an elf by the name of I don't care. Most importantly, she knew what mana was. She fell to
Wow.
the ground but didn't disappear after being killed. That's not how banshees work.
I can feel the ground. Oh, it's a nice fucking ground.
They're literally ghost-like apparitions that when killed, they kind of disintegrate.
Nah.
So anyway,
Crazy.
kill them, Naruto told the undead Wendigo, which doesn't exist. Summoned by a powerful demon by the name of Illidan. Illidan wasn't a demon. The Kyuubi and his container were thrown into the realm of Northrend. Northrend isn't a realm. When he came to, he was surrounded by creatures of undead. Undead creatures, not creatures of undead. That's just dumb. You're wrong,
Creatures
author.
of the undead.
That's just I hate him. I hate this author so much. They
How
took
do you
him.
think I feel?
They took him to the
Sneaky.
frozen throne.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh. Okay, I see the problem.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
Okay, so can we update this to the frozen yeet?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, sure.
Frozen Yeet. To the Lich King, where he decided that this one would become his newest Death
You
Knight.
know, I'm kind of surprised he's not
Yeah.
spelling lich with a T at this point.
You're
Lich.
not wrong. Had he known before the danger
Lich
he
King.
truly possessed, he would have had Naruto killed and the body destroyed. No, I don't think he would. The Scourge
Black
has
Eye,
a
well,
bad
really
habit
cool.
of being villainously stupid.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like the reason why the Order of Death Knights was on the most holy ground in Azeroth, fighting the most holy paladin in Azeroth, was because the Lich King got his jollies off at the idea of sending his son to go kill his father.
Based.
That is fucked. Wow.
And it turns out when you put a Death Knight on the most holy ground in Azeroth and make him fight the most holy paladin in Azeroth with the most holy sword in Azeroth in his hand, it turns out that the Death Knight loses, and that the good guy doesn't kill the Death Knight.
I feel like the surprise Pikachu meme is a good insert here.
Yeah,
Whoa.
basically.
Really is.
Wow.
And it was straight up just like Lich King shows up, haha, time to kill you, and the holy paladin with the most holy sword on the most holy ground is like,
Are you sure?
are you sure about that?
Just stares at the ground, stares at the sword. It's like, have you been paying attention?
Ah, so you're approaching me.
I can't kill you if you neglect it.
I
And I-
still remember the day
Of
when I
course, like-
killed one of the named NPCs there.
Lich King literally like fucking limps away. He's like, "This isn't over. I'll be back. I'll kill you finally." It's like, bro,
I'll be back in a few.
bro.
Bruh.
Blah blah. When he came to once again, he was in a room, plate armor. Just it was big. His hair was white. Orange jumpsuit was gone. He dressed in armor that
Oh
felt
God,
like
oh
he
fuck,
put on
oh
set
no.
clothes. Grabbing the only
It's
weapon he
not Naruto
saw, a
anymore.
bastard sword, he walked over to the window. His breath mist surprised him as he didn't feel the cold. He looked at the bodies around him. They were truly dead. He didn't know what was going on, but what he gathered from every kill, shit had totally hit the fan. He had somehow been changed with a sword. It had tried to eat his soul, but had taken the Kyubis instead, and...
Convenient, yes.
Oh, yeah. It's really fucking convenient that the sword decided to eat the soul locked inside him behind several seals instead of the soul that wasn't locked inside him behind several seals. Yes.
Imagine that.
You see, Minato actually planned for such an outcome.
Yeah.
It was all part of Kikaku. Translator.
The Isekai was all part of the
means plan.
Keikaku.
The
Yeah.
Isekai was part of my Kikaku. Translator.
Oh,
note.
according to Keikaku.
Oh god, Naruto, you're already dead. I know
Fucking
not.
get run over by a truck. Oh god, oh fuck.
Oh, so apparently when Naruto kills an undead with Frozen Fury, he de-Lich Kings them.
Yes, as you do.
Stupid.
You're no longer
And-
Lich King.
Yeah, you know, the only reason why their soul is even kept in place is because of the Lich King and his magic. And I fucking hate this so
Clearly
much.
just-
I hate this story so fucking much. We're moving on. We're at the
Clearly
we're at-
he's a full heal on them, Sneaky. It's obvious.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Removed all stage effects. The Lich King is now gone. Isn't that how this works?
We know, everyone knows what happens when a banshee repossesses their original body. Everyone in Warcraft knows what happens. It's one of the reasons why the Lich King stopped using banshees.
Woman.
Yep.
The other reason is that most of the banshees chose to follow the banshee that got her original body.
Reason she's called the Banshee Queen, and she's an idiot.
Well, I mean, woman.
The power you have as a new Death Knight is staggering. The Lich King will want it for himself. Then we need to find something faster. I smell sulfur. Oh, those are demons. We must hurry. You are not ready for demons. I smell something else. I just don't know what else I smell. And then,
Come.
ahead of him, there were Crypt Fiends and Blood Elves. In honor of those...
Bloods and Crips. Oh god, oh fuck.
Okay, so why the fuck does Naruto know about the
gang
Blood
war.
Elves, but doesn't know what a Crypt Fiend is? And until he suddenly knows what a Crypt Fiend is, now that the author had already gotten through the early
Well,
stages of the story.
Clearly that's part of the knowledge he stole from Kurama.
Oh yeah, of course, right, my bad. Even though he's been killing
Exactly.
things with his sword, because he knew
Yeah,
that
exactly.
killing things with his sword would cause the knowledge to rush into him, except the times that the knowledge apparently hasn't rushed into him all the times he killed things with his sword until this very moment, where it definitely
Exactly.
worked.
Yep, I see you're getting it.
Yep,
Good shit.
I'm taking that Felsteed, except you don't have a means of breaking it.
Controlling.
Well, you see, he is Naruto, which means he has the power of the Hokage, and therefore he can do anything.
So then the
All for
elves
plot
noticed
convenience.
him, but then Naruto sheathed Frozen Fury, and he's like, "Yo, I'm not here to fight." And they're like, "Oh yeah, well, what are you here for?" The Felsteed. I'm after the Felsteed, and the Scourge are after me, and they hope to make us slaves. And one of them punched Naruto in the face. You have brought them upon us.
Damn, should punch him right in
What?
the dick.
What? Isn't he wearing a full plate?
Apparently not.
Naruto licked blood from his lips again. The elf obligated him again. Now, that's the wrong word, author. Again, after this punch, Naruto shook his head. Pathetic. You should stick to using your magic. Now, if I leave, the Scourge will not know you are here. They're fighting Crypt Fiends. The Scourge already know they're there. But if I walk, I will not be able to make it far enough. That
He's a
demon
cripple.
is mine, a warlock growled. Is that a fact? Naruto asked. Then if I kill you, he will be free, or not, or mine. It matters not. You'll be dead before your fingers reach your sword, the ranger said, knocking an arrow. And Naruto was like, whoever said I would use my sword? And then he
Knocking an
created
arrow?
300 shadow
Notching.
clones and surrounded the elves. Wait, so how the fuck
You
is
just
Naruto on
leave.
the run?
Well, you see, plot points that the author didn't write, which are probably going to be answered in like chapter 8.
Yeah, they're probably never gonna be
Because
fucking
that's
answered.
when he fucking goes back to this party.
Yeah, probably. Flashback of a flashback time. There's no spell that can make this many clones. There's no spell that can make clones.
Mirror image.
Okay, but that's not a clone.
Shadow clone.
Mirror image is a
Shadow
mirror
clone
image.
is definitely a Warcraft spell.
Warcraft spell, yes, of course. But you know, as I'm saying, mirror image isn't a clone spell. It's a mirror image, and it's kind of blatantly obvious that it's a mirror image. It's an illusion. Kill him. That's still a really impressive illusion to create 300 soldiers out of nothing. Naruto snapped his fingers, and all the clones ran at them. And the ranger was able to avoid the swords, but the rest of them never stood a chance. Wait, if they're just illusions, then why would they try dodging the swords?
You gotta keep up the illusion, you know?
Keep up the illusion of dodging the illusion?
Yeah, that they're illusions.
Ah, yes, of course. Sorry, Naruto told her as his hand began to glow, and then he punched into her chest, and then...
Naruto is part of the CIA. He glows.
Oh my god. He was a plant
glows
the
in the
whole
dark.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
He pulled out her soul and just sent it into the afterlife. That's not how that works.
No.
The
Federal
Death
Agent
Knights
Naruto.
cannot do that. That is not a thing that happens ever.
Well, you see, in this alternate universe.
It force choke. We do not get eating a person's soul.
Yeah, what if
Elaine,
Darth Vader was lifting?
Elaine, possess her body while it's still alive.
Oh god, Elaine possessed the body? Oh no.
Yes.
It's Swedish. Oh god, oh fuck.
Right. The Banshee then dived into the body, and then the body opened the eyes again. It works, she said. I can't feel her, but I can feel the wind and cold. I can return home. First, we must get out of the frozen hell. Demons ally themselves with the strong. No, Elaine told him and she put the bow on her back. Naruto, cut the ropes
The
and
weak should
climb
fear
up
the
on
strong.
top of it. That's the direction we need to go. Then run, Sleipnir, he says, naming the horse. Naruto,
Yes, why the
wouldn't
fuck we named it
know
Sleipnir?
how to
Seriously.
name something Norwegian.
Fucking. See, this is why we shouldn't have given you guys knowledge of our fucking myths. Because you guys just turn it into that fucking bullshit.
Naruto would not know that word. It's physically impossible for him to know that word. God, I hate you, author, so fucking much. We're gonna, the second that Max comes back, we're gonna move on to Caesar's story.
Good. I am now angry. Rightfully so.
This is such a fucking trash story. I hate it so fucking much. I'm just gonna name this horse a name that I wouldn't physically be possible for you to know in a language that doesn't exist.
Well,
Yeah.
the goats of Frykul know that language.
Well, yeah, sure, but Naruto doesn't.
Why is this only halfway through?
Oh, good, you're back. We can
life
fucking
is pain.
leave.
Huh? What?
Naruto proceeded
on
to
you.
use Shadow Clone to kill a bunch of elves that were just like, hey, we're not gonna let you live, and he's like, alright, well, I'm gonna kill you all, so he kills them all, and then he yeets the soul out of an elf, and he's like, yo, Banshee, possess this elf.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he got a horse and proceeded to name it Norwegian, even though he shouldn't know the language or the myth behind it.
And name it fucking Sleipnir. As in,
Okay.
fucking Loki source.
Yeah. Even though he shouldn't know any of that. It's the same problem I have with fucking Ruby when they pull that shit. Where they're like, oh, I'm gonna name this thing after the German because they're from Atlas. It's like, okay, well, it's never been established. It's actually been established that everyone on Remnant speaks the same language. And they always have. That's actually canon in Ruby. That there's only ever been one language. So regardless of the complete retardation around that, that would make everything in Atlas named after German shit not make any sense at all, because there would never have been German. There was never like, that's the thing. If you just left it as this is the new, universally accepted language, like there's a bunch of languages from previous eras, as tribes died out and shit, it would be like, okay, so yeah, then you could feasibly have had the Yao Longs and the Shnees and the whatnot.
Yeah, if there were remnants,
if there were remnant languages in Remnant,
like just little bits of like, oh, this sign is in a foreign language, and beside it in the new universal language is the immediate translation, or under it, or above it, or something.
Right, like it just you don't even have to make it too complicated. Just be like, yeah, Valiant or something. Like it became the new trade language, so everyone just started using it, like English. And so it's just like, yeah, oh shit, yeah, people, Weiss might actually still speak Atlesian, aka German.
Yeah, I just
right, like
that would have made the Atlas visit so much more interesting. Random Atlas,
everyone just
starts cussing at them, and Weiss is just like hand to mouth. Oh my god, I can't believe he's just saying this.
The entirety of Team Ruby is confused whether they should take their weapons out or not. Weiss is just greeting her family. After she translates, they're still confused whether they should take out their weapons or not.
Oh my god, that would make the characters from Atlas make so much more sense. Because their language is still based on German, no matter what they do, they sound pissed off.
It's true.
Even when they start talking in Valiant, they just sound pissed off. It's not
someone
how
who
they
speaks
are.
German,
it's just how
is
they
that
sound.
true? That's perfectly accurate, yeah.
Alright, so anyway, let's get to this very uniquely named story by Caesar the writer. Now that you're back, Max. The title of this story, it's an original content story. Space Galleon Javelin. I can say that's a name that I have never. This is very unique. Yeah, let's go with that. It's very unique.
It is definitely a unique
certainly different.
Yep. I have to give you kudos where kudos are due. You didn't go the new Japanese method of naming your story and have a paragraph as your name.
I am in space and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Someone please help me.
Alright, you know what? There's a title I'm gonna have to steal.
Oh, what's that? I'm in space
Sure.
and I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Gonna have to steal
You're
that
welcome.
now.
It's copyrighted.
I don't know what it's gonna be
royalties.
Yeah.
Sneaky, we're gonna have to burn the recording. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll have to mount an assault on Twitch.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna clip it real fast and download the video.
Find their servers to delete this file.
No, that's a Payday 2 style.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking
break into the FBI.
But imagine being an employee and someone's like, hey, could you do me a favor and delete this file name off of this server? And they're just like, I don't think this is an internal email. What the fuck?
anyway, so a space opera epic. A pilot with delusions of grandeur stumbles upon a mysterious derelict ship in the middle of nowhere.
Oh fuck! Was I closer than I thought?
So I don't want to be that guy, but I am gonna be that guy. Most of space is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very
as I
much
said,
so,
it's
in
not
fact.
that the content is bad, but this very much comes across as like first time writing.
With
Amateurish.
its crew apparently gone and no signs of life.
There seems to be no
Alright,
signs of
I'll
intelligent
let
life
that pass.
anywhere.
No, I'll let that pass. He decided
That's a
to
common
venture
trope.
in. No, I know, but it's like with the crew gone and there's no signs of life. It's like, but wouldn't those two more or less be the same?
Not really. They might have left some pets behind.
I guess, yeah, I suppose so.
I guess it comes down
That's
to how
likely.
the story itself consistently defines life.
Because
there have been
that's why I said I was gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, I'll let that one pass because it's like, okay, it's a classic trope of saying that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, you know, those
Yeah,
two
well, and again,
kind of
it
go hand in
depends.
hand.
It does depend on the story. Like it is a long time ago, but there was one story where it's like there were no signs of life, and they literally only used life to refer to anything that would show up
On the life scan.
humanoid and
Mhm.
only like they had to be a set size. There was a minimum size that the
Oh,
scanner picked up.
also, it's kind of implied when you say you found a derelict ship that the crew is dead. Because that's part of the
Yeah.
Huge.
definition of it being a derelict ship.
That is
Actually,
true.
what is the exact definition of that word?
That actually would make for a very interesting story in of itself. That you stumble upon a derelict ship in the far reaches of space.
Yeah,
Except
it's
there's
okay.
signs of life aboard.
Yeah. Well, it'd certainly be unique. It's not a story type you would see often. But
No,
yeah,
it's definitely not a new trope, but it'd be something.
yeah, you don't see a lot of stories like that. And that
No.
really is a shame. And every time you do,
You
you can pretty
definitely
much
have to play it as the horror genre.
paste.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can pretty much copy paste one of two types
Mm.
of people living on the ship.
Mm.
So
He decided to venture in and soon realizes he has bitten off more than he can chew. Well, as far as summaries go, this actually fulfills the requirements of being a actual summary of the story and not some garbage mash between just telling me what happens in the story and spoiling what's going to happen at the end of the story. So
yeah,
kudos with there. It's heavily reliant on just generic trope statements. He found generic derelict ship in middle of nowhere with no crew or life aboard. He thinks it's a score, but he finds out that there's more to it. Like, okay, wow, I didn't see that coming. I wonder why it's a story.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like,
And
okay.
nothing of interest happened. Story
Yeah,
ends.
Nothing of interest
First paragraph.
happened. One shot, 200 words.
don't really want to be
Exactly.
that guy, but yeah, it is a very tried and true trope. It's the kind of thing where odds are everyone here has seen this at one point other than sci-fi, so
Oh yeah.
probably going to be
Many
able to
times.
predict
You know
certain
what?
things.
Actually, that summary actually reads like a sci-fi original summary that you like see when you pull up the TV guide.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
know what it
summary.
does.
Yeah.
That's the summary.
It's budget Friday on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, B-movie Star Wars ripoff.
Oh man.
So, because this is in the spirit of helping you, I will continue to have my Brandon Sanderson book right next to me so I can read to you the summary of a man who knows what he's doing.
Wow. Impressive.
Once
The man who is
a
the fanfiction
hero
author.
arose to save the world. A young man with a mysterious heritage courageously challenged the darkness that strangled the land. And he failed. For 1,000 years since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist, ruled by an immortal emperor known as Lord Ruler. Every revolt has failed miserably. that is the summary, the first book of the Mistborn trilogy. What's going on? Okay, no, get out of here.
What'd you do?
I put the book
help.
down and it fell over and mashed every button on the keyboard.
Yeah. It's a certified sneaky moment.
All right then.
What the fuck? Alright. Chapter 1.
You know, maybe we should be fair to him and just get the latest chapter, because presumably that's when he'll have improved the most, right?
I suppose, but
Yeah,
we
but we
also
won't have
kind
any
of, you know,
context.
the whole point is to go over the intro. I mean, we can
Yeah,
always
I know.
skip to the later chapter, you know, if we get through this quick enough.
I know, but get ready for one of the not so great tropes in sci-fi. It takes at least 2 or 3 books before they do this.
Yeah, if we read the latest chapter, we'll have no idea what's going on. Fair enough.
Listen, man, that's where the fun comes in.
While I was busy pretending I knew how to fire a gun, the virtual intelligence talked through the speaker of my ship. I was thankful for that little piece of software. Captain Hawk, sir, I'm detecting a large object near our flash speed route. Alright, fair enough, opening. Kind of curious as to why you're pretending you know how to fire a gun when your AI is flying the ship, though. Are you like, is your character like posing? Is he doing like poses? He's like, oh yeah, you know, like pulling out the gun and pretending that he's gonna shoot something. Like, I don't, kind of iffy on that. Like, why is he posing? Basically, is what I'm trying to say. I was 22 and the captain of my own ship already, and life couldn't be better. Fair enough. So I asked, paying attention to my accuracy percentages, then to the VI. It took me a minute before I registered what it had said. Accuracy percentages of what?
You know, hitting or missing with the gun.
But he was pretending how to fire a gun.
Pretending he knew how to fire a gun.
Right.
Which means he could be doing it, he just didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Okay, but that doesn't imply anything. Saying you're pretending you know how to fire a gun, and then saying you're paying attention to accuracy percentages.
It does kind of imply that you're shooting the gun, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, I suppose, but at the same time, in the same paragraph, he's also saying that he's traveling inside a ship and that the AI is flying it for him. So clearly he's not under any sort of threat, and he's also not threatening anyone. It's just
also true.
I'm just saying, like, a little bit of a better setup as to what exactly he's doing. Like, is he posing, or is he you know, working on some firing range, pretending he knows how to fire a gun? You know.
Exactly.
Having something to talk to, which actually talks back, goes a long way towards keeping you sane. Mind you, it becomes a bit redundant if you find an outernet hotspot beacon to call your family and such. You instructed me to tell you if, and I quote, something interesting pops off, the VI said, using an actual clip from my voice. I laughed a bit, on the inside. Yeah, fair enough, you're I'm not gonna call it seamless, but you know, you're slotting in the sci-fi into it. Let's see.
The sci-fi has in fact been found.
So what's interesting about this large object, besides it being on our flash speed route, of course? For 3 years, the Remora had been under control of the VI. I was pretty content not knowing where we went or how we got there, listening instead to the beautiful music of the BFT turbines at flash speed. Missing a space there. Which was missing a space there. The name of the effect around the ship caused by the root warping of the BFT turbines, missing a space there. Occasionally, and you're missing a comma there, I would let the VI know we needed to stock up, and it gave it a time frame that didn't include starving to death. If I made a mark, large or small, on the planet we visited, I never knew it until they hung the medal around my neck.
Or, a noose.
I guess suppose so. I was approximately the happiest idiot in the universe. Fair enough. I had gotten my ship from the Boralians. I saved their princess, Gesh, from a pirate world on my first space flight when I was 17 years old. Said they owed me for life, so they had been generous when it came to credits, for a while at least, then 5 years later it was back to taking cheap jobs for easy money. Maintaining a ship costs money, and my depleting resources were proof of that. Food, jelly, repairs, spare parts, extra missiles, all would run low. I had to do something. I had to turn off the flashpoint drives every now and again to let them cool off, which added 2 weeks to my travel. Sometimes I would land on an orbital rest dock and have a couple of beers, update my outer net, and call the family and my girlfriend Anna to let them know I was fine. Update my outer net. I'm a little bit sketch on that because that kind of implies that you're kind of downloading the entire internet, so you have like an offline file to access with.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say maybe instead of update, maybe reconnect, unless you are implying that you're downloading the entire space internet each time.
Yeah. Like update or
Yeah.
refresh.
Refresh, yeah, refresh. The implication would be accurate. So you are downloading the entire space internet. That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's a lot of data.
When I wasn't in one of those docks, I would either toy with consoles, experiment with the ship's computer configurations and the VI setups, or simply explore my ship. Because no matter how many times I went around it, I would always end up finding a new secret compartment with goodies or a nook I hadn't seen before. I'm starting to think that you just get really drunk and forget shit.
Man has amnesia. Or, dementia at the age of 22.
And it's not impossible. Sometimes I would find myself taking odd jobs from bars or docks as a change of pace. Sir, if my scans are correct, the object is 55 by 8 by 302 kilometers. So it's a very rectangular asteroid or planetoid. I don't have any terraforming or mining equipment with me, so I can't claim it. Sir, it's not an asteroid. I stopped the simulation and took off my virtual reality goggles. Say that again. Sir, it's not an asteroid. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I agree.
You okay there?
No.
No, he's not. Is he ever? Hint, no.
Sometimes he is. It's just very rare. Once every 2
Yeah.
years. So he's due for a good day.
Overdue, maybe.
8 minutes left, it says. That's a very gross overestimation of both my speaking capabilities and my ability to read.
Yeah.
What is it? I can tell you with 99% accuracy that the object is a ship, sir.
Shit. Shit, sir.
God damn it. Now, every time I hear the word sir, my brain immediately hops back to ticks and talks and clocks, sir.
Yeah. Pops and rocks.
Pops on rocks and clocks on top.
Ugh.
Fox is wearing socks.
That's such a great remix, though.
It was really good. Really catchy. I liked it. I also liked how Ame was completely unable to say the
Yeah.
say the lions.
Say the line, Ame.
Let's see. Oh, you should make that meme. I'll remind me to make that meme, and I'll post it, and maybe she'll look at it and give her fucking gremlin laugh.
Mayhaps.
I dropped the jacket with the wires right where I was and ran back to the cockpit. I shut down the flashpoint engines without even thinking twice. That's a little bit awkward, but okay. As soon as the flash speed light show outside the ship disappeared from view, a gigantic floating ship of the likes I had never seen or even heard of before in my life appeared right there, a couple of kilometers away from me. That's really fucking close in space.
Yeah, that's like I just shat my pants.
But that's like if I hadn't slowed down quicker, I would have flattened myself against it fast. Oh my god. I brought my ship into a full stop to marvel at the thing. It wasn't pretty. Semicolons. And from where I was, it looked quite beat up. Using "and" after a semicolon.
Oh, get over yourself.
Free!
You can never
God,
go
you would have made for a really interesting high school English teacher.
What, just random screeching echoing through the halls?
Well, there goes Mr. Sneaky again.
Excuse me, that's Mr. Devil to you.
Mr. Devil, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Devil, sir, Professor Man. Its sheer size was damned near impossible to believe. The ship was huge, dark, and rectangular, with turbines half its own size. 2 metallic dooms encased the deck from the arms amidst the upper halls of this behemoth. From the arms?
In the arms of the angel.
If it makes you feel better, I'm deleting that.
Good.
Honestly, it's just a personal pet peeve of mine, semicolon usage in narrative, especially dialogue. Because there's pretty much never a time where you need to use a semicolon in the narrative. And it also is a readability issue, because the semicolons are basically the halfway point between a period, a colon, and a comma. Because technically using a semicolon means you're starting a new sentence, but it also means, so each independent part that's being connected by the semicolon has to be its own sentence, but it also has to be a connect sentence that could have used "and" but couldn't use "and" in that specific situation due to how the sentence framing would occur. Basically, it's a very, very specific usage, and there's pretty much no point in making sure that your narrative fits a semicolon usage scenario. It's just like, yeah, technically you could use it in a narrative, but it's just like the amount of times that you would ever use a semicolon in a narrative is practically no. Because I can tell you how many times I've seen a semicolon in published works. None. I've never seen a semicolon in a published story. It just doesn't happen. I mean, admittedly, I haven't read of all of Brandon Sanderson's works yet, but maybe Tolkien's Silmarillion used a semicolon. I haven't read that one, but
I'm pretty sure the first few chapters, the first 2 or 3 chapters I read of Lord of the Rings had semicolons that made me sick of seeing semicolons.
That's fair. I also never read Lord of the Rings.
He was a very
he was a very
he was a very unique writer. Again, I don't think he made a good writer for storytelling. I think he made a fantastic writer for world building.
I would never recommend someone try to write a Tolkien-esque story. Yeah, as successful and prolific as he was, it's very much like trying to tell people not to emulate Einstein. You're not gonna be Einstein. You're not gonna be Stephen Hawking.
Unless you're like a small Chinese
also,
kid or something.
Tolkien's writing didn't age too well.
That too, yes.
That's more of a personal, like, opinion of mine, but like, it's really hard to stomach. And I've read some old literature. Like the Sherlock Holmes books are significantly older. Those were a fantastic read, and they made sense with the structure.
Yeah.
Even being like late 1890s, British English.
Perish the thought.
I'm pretty sure it was the 1890s.
Yeah,
Thereabouts.
something like that.
No, yeah, I think it was 1890s. All I remember from Sherlock Holmes books was that they were actually pretty well structured.
Yeah, I'll say this. It's rare for me to find stories that I love so much that I will reread them. To date, this only includes a handful of Star Wars books and now the entirety of Conan Doyle's original Sherlock Holmes work. I've not branched out into the fan fiction Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Yeah.
There's a
very
lot
bad
of
plot.
Watson times Sherlock Holmes.
I get the feeling that, well, it's not just, well, I say that, but Sherlock Holmes pre-1920s novels entered public domain, so anyone can actually make a Sherlock Holmes book, and will technically be considered official, which is where a lot of Moriarty stuff comes from that we know now. And it's weird how they can mess up such a perfect villain. Like, how do we make it so that Moriarty is such a perfect foil to Sherlock? Sherlock Holmes tells Watson, you will only publish this story and this story about him. No one can ever know about all the shit he's done. Yeah. It was a great example. Like, why didn't we see more of this dude throughout the rest of Sherlock Holmes' stories? Because Sherlock doesn't want him having any attention if he can avoid it.
I really think that's a missed. It kind of resurged with Lemony Snicket and the series of unfortunate events, but I really feel like it's sort of missed meta narrative structure of books that I really appreciated, and I'm kind of sad to see that it's gone. Where it's like, oh, the Sherlock Holmes books are meta narratively published by Sherlock Holmes. Like, obviously they're not, but it's like implied in the narrative that they are.
Yeah, well, and it takes a step further where, like, Watson literally says to Sherlock, like, he says, he gave me permission for these stories, and I have entire drawers that will never see the light of day.
Right, exactly.
Due to his request, due to clients involved.
Right, like, and then the Lemony Snicket came around with Series of Unfortunate Events. What I found was a very... Did you ever read the full series?
I still have not read most of it. I still have not read the final book somehow. I don't know how. I've still not read book 13.
Oh, it was so satisfying. The whole series wrapped itself up in a very satisfying way, and I was like, oh, wow. I didn't see that coming, and I'm really glad that the author did what he did. Oh, it's so good.
Actually, it's because of book 12 that I learned what the word penultimate meant.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, well, it's not a word you would hear going through middle school, and it's not like it's a common word in literature. Like, I knew far more. I know far more words than most people because I read so much and still read a shit ton. Penultimate never came up until Lemony Snicket.
The one downside of the Series of Unfortunate Events is it's a series that you have to read like in succession. Like,
oh yeah, you can't jump around, and you want to read it.
And it's
one of those
very important for the later books that you keep in mind the events that happened in the first book.
Yeah, the Series of Unfortunate Events, looking back at it, was very much a it's just like TV shows. There are some shows that you should watch like as it comes out, and the other shows that just wait. You're going to want to binge this in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of the nerds that read Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. Fair enough.
Then, poor guy. I can no longer hear the word or the name Watson without immediately thinking of Amelia.
Ruined. Oh well.
Yeah.
You know, that's just you, I suppose.
Yeah, that's life. I mean,
Amelia's
not a
gremlin,
complaint, just like an observation.
Amelia's gremlin laugh is permanently carved into my mind. Whenever I see the words "eh combined with the word Watson, my brain immediately supplies that fucking gremlin laugh of hers.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Just in case you forgot what it sounded like, my brain's got it fucking clipped.
Okay. All right, Sneaky. So what I'm hearing is I need to dip my toes into writing a Sherlock Holmes story, and it's just going to be based around Watson.
You know, Max, actually you should, because she's actually going to be doing a fan fiction reading competition soon.
I didn't mean that, Watson.
But potentially.
That can only end horribly.
She said no weird shit, but you know, we all know how fan fiction goes.
Okay. All right, you can say no weird shit all you want, Amelia. Your manager is going to nix this after the first half hour of the stream.
I don't know.
Yeah, if it even happens.
Amelia's already gone off about feet before, so I don't know how much the managers can actually stop her.
Here's the thing, though.
She's growing too strong.
Being discussing about feet is not being explicit.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
It's weird, and it's frowned upon, but it's not really pornographic. It's not.
Well, I mean, to them it is.
Well,
it's kind of the point.
Why are people like that?
I don't know. You know what? I'll take the feet people over the armpit people. The armpit people need to leave.
No, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Those. You know, I got a question for you, Arn. Was your first time learning that was a fetish the same as mine, where it was really good fan art of a Toho character, usually Reimu, and then there's a comment saying, "Look at those arms." It's like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah. Nailed it.
My first introduction to fetishes was the Pokemon section.
Just fetishes in general.
Just fetishes in general.
Oh no!
I
I'm so sorry.
Me being me, I've never
just gave me like
any of that shit
PTSD
before now. But I was going through the Pokemon section, and it was just like fucking bestiality fics, and it was like feet fic. Like it wasn't even like like generic description, and then there's feet shot stuff in the story. No, it's like literally in the summary of the story. It's like. Ash's feet are huge and smelly, and he steps on women. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, you just gave me fucking PTSD, dude. To a specific fanfiction author who only wrote Meloetta eating a fuck ton of frosting and then farting.
Oh, the cake flirting fic.
Yeah, the cake flirting guy.
I saw that.
That's very, very specific.
It made me close out. It made me close out of fan fiction that day, and I was like, "Well, I've had enough internet for the rest of my life."
Yeah.
And yet here you are.
Yeah, and yet here I am.
A fan fiction podcast.
Can't stop the signal.
Here I am doing a fan fiction podcast with alcohol.
Oof.
It's a wonder how I got here.
Alcohol.
I thought you were going to talk about the deaf mute guy who made a GTS 3D video with giant women squishing him. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, same. I wish I did.
I think I vaguely recall what you're talking about.
I really wish I didn't.
Yeah, same. But so he says he's going to be removing arms from that description, which is fair enough. I don't know what arms we're doing there either. In case the deck from arms admits the upper half of the behemoth. I guess you were trying to say something like
clearly. Sneaky. Clearly it's a crossover with the Nintendo's arms.
Oh yes, of course.
Min has joined the fight.
No, God, she's so fucking broken. I hate her.
Yeah.
I like that the arms community thought that Min getting added was going to like inject their community with a fresh round of combatants.
No.
I never heard anything about arms even after Min officially released. They got a week in the spotlight, and they got 48 hours. They got 2 days in the spotlight, and that was it.
Yeah, but did you hear about the new Fate Fire Emblem character that got added?
Fate Fire Emblem.
Fire.
Come on, there's like fucking 9 of them now.
Yeah.
There's about that
Yeah.
many Pokemon. Why does someone
Yeah.
complain about the Pokemon?
Pokemon's a
Because,
major
well,
flagship
the
series.
Well, so is Fire Emblem.
Over
But-
here, Fire Emblem is massive over in Japan.
That's fair
Yeah.
enough, I suppose.
The thing about like Pokemon versus Fire Emblem in Smash is that the Pokemon characters are way more unique to each other
It's
compared to the Fire
not
Emblem characters.
just, it's just
It's
not
not just like
90% fire
Marth,
types.
Marth but different, Marth but shorter, Marth but fat, Marth,
But female.
Marth but long. You know, Marth but he's a furry.
Well, in Ultimate's defense, at least, it's managed to differentiate the characters quite a bit at this point.
Yeah, you know, more so than before, but still, it's not really enough, in my opinion.
Oh god. Anyway, Marth, but with a diaper. Get the fuck out.
And
You can
shut
leave.
the fuck up. Be gone.
Oh god, that's
Consider this your ban.
I don't like the diaper thing. I really don't like the diaper thing because there's quite a few artists that I really enjoyed, and then they were like, "I got paid to do this. I apologize," and it's like a fucking diaper of one of the characters I like. It's like, God, fucking
It's like Orpheus, you know. You can make him do anything as long as you pay him enough.
Capitalism,
I hate
dark
it so much.
side.
I love capitalism,
Honestly-
but fuck this one thing in particular.
I found that my favorite artists to take a look at for commission work are the ones that immediately just put up no X thing.
That's fair. Yeah.
Although I'm disappointed. I found an artist that does really nice art for fairly cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Here are the things I don't know. Doesn't do in SFW, things like that." And then the line that really
Yeah.
got me was, "No robots or mecha." And I'm like, "Oh,
Okay, so here's the
You
deal,
should
right?
send me a link to that.
My plan would be have my like normal account where I say no X, no like no furry, no fucked up shit, whatever, and then I have a
Yeah.
second account where I say yeah I'll do that, so I can both keep my main account clean and rake in the money from all the furries. Now that's capitalism.
Are you going to take the time to have two completely separate art styles?
I've heard some fucking horror stories.
Separate art styles, they you know they can be similar.
I've had some fucking horror stories, man. From the artists at college. They're telling me how they paid through college by just doing furry art and shit, and they're like, "Oh,
Well, I mean, if it works, it works.
Fucking horror stories. They're like, I'm gonna need half this money for alcohol because I don't want to remember what I just did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's like, this is the same fucking guy that pays me $600 a week to draw a single picture, and I do it because it's good money. But fucking the shit he asked me to put in it.
Yeah. Like,
Oh.
at some point, you just gotta like take a plane to Belgium, go to the Hague, just like go to the fucking war crime tribunal
Not
or whatever.
even Jesus can wash away these sins.
Yeah. Truly, humanity has gone too far.
Anyway, so it's a big ass ship. Basically, it's the cover ship. Who could have built such a thing? Unknown, said the VI. Say that again. Unknown. It repeated the same tone and inflection as before. Wait a second. Semicolon in the dialogue. No one talks in semicolons. Don't you have an entire database of ships and pilots on your system? The latest list from the Universal Ship Manifesto? It's a lot of ships. That is correct, sir.
It's a lot of ships. Yeah.
But you just don't have what seems to be the biggest ship ever built by a living creature in your database. That is correct, sir. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How is that even possible? Unknown, sir. But it's not the mistake. That ship, sir, is not in my database.
Done.
But
You cannot
are
be in
the
the
socks
database,
on
though.
Fox?
Fox on socks, rocks on.
I
I'm
know
not
where
gonna
you're going
continue
with
that.
that one.
Yeah.
I rubbed my jaw and traced a line
Like,
from the corner of my
wait,
lips to
just
my chin.
Sneaky.
Corner of my lip to my chin.
Sneaky.
What?
You gotta admire Amelia's restraint. She didn't go there the entire time.
That's fair enough, but she was also reading a Dr. Seuss book.
That's true. But I would have done it just like accidentally, because you know when you really start talking.
She is also
then...
a gremlin.
Exactly.
I traced a line from the corner of my lips to my chin. But why? Oh, you mean like the mustache drag, where you drag your fingers down each side of your face alongside your facial hair? Okay. Probably need a little bit better description than traced a line from the corner of my lips to my chin.
It's a bit weird.
The odds of a ship this large being absent from the database weren't even odds to begin with. They were a giant 0. Something this big would have caught the attention of at least one local media comlet, even if it was built in extreme secrecy, somewhere along, say, the Menia Pathway or the Cassandra Crossings, or even in Dartara's sector's own illegal red-letter shipyards. The idea of a ship of that size somehow traveling in space, yet somehow avoiding being both detected and registered with all the patrols and security stations out there, didn't make any sense. It couldn't happen. In the end, my curiosity won. BR, take us closer to the ship. Slow approach. Acknowledged. Have you tried communicating with the ship? Yes, sir. There's no response to my transmissions, nor is the vessel transmitting any kind of recognizable signals. Force yourself into it then. I want to know what they're talking about. Unable to comply. Why? I don't recognize the hardware they're using. It seems to be incompatible with my own systems. It kept getting weirder and weirder. What do you mean? ASC relays are the industry norm, are they not? No, yes sir. The ASC system is mandatory for all ships. This ship, however, doesn't have one. So, alien origin? Alien origin. Pretty much everything's alien origin these days when you're in space. Insufficient data. I rubbed my jaw, so what does it have? After some blips and bloops, I got the answer that didn't help at all. Unknown, sir. It's not in my database.
Oh, well,
that
you're
should
helpful.
be expected.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
Can you detect any movement? Comms going in and out? Anything at all? The only thing that stands out, sir, is the ship seems to be largely offline except for localized power spikes and seemingly random parts of the ship's structure. Cannot detect the pattern. Is it abandoned? More blips and bloops. Unable to determine. I rolled my eyes. How surprising. What's blocking your scans? The ship itself, sir. So they have a signal scrambler. Big deal. No, sir. I paused for a second. Oh, this better be good. Sir, my scanners indicate that the ship's hull is approximately 55 meters thick. 55 meters
That's a lot of armor.
that's a warship.
That's more than a warship. Even 55 meters thick,
That's
a fucking lot.
That is half a football field.
Yeah.
That is, I am here to fuck shit up, and I'm not taking no for an answer.
That's not even that. That's like I'm here to plow through your ship with my ship and not even notice.
I'm going through your ship and at least 3 ships behind you, and I'm not slowing down.
That's like, oh, you nuked me? That's cute.
This is
like
a
55
ship.
meters of
This
steel.
is a battering ram.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I give credit where credit's due. As far as ships go, the Halo writers actually put a decent amount of thought into it. And like even their ships were like, oh yeah, this is an impressive, hefty, heavy warship with a massive 8 inches of steel.
Bro, there are tanks with more fucking armor than that.
Yeah, but it's Neo Steel sci-fi alloy though.
Well, yeah, still bullshit,
Yeah, but sci-fi basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do warships even have?
Around.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't half a football field.
Yeah.
Well, no shit.
You know, if anything was gonna have like half a football field's worth of armor, it probably would have been made in Germany.
Oh wow, this is an incredibly readable site. Thank you. I really appreciate the person
Oh
who
my
made this
eye.
website. You
Ugh.
fucking asshole.
My
Wow.
eyes.
How the
Hurt.
fuck am I supposed to read this? You piece of shit.
I mean, I can read it, but
Please
yeah,
do.
the thickest one, Yamato, 16.1 inches.
Alright, so yeah, foot and a
Iowa,
half.
12.2. Bismarck, 12.6. Richelieu, 13.6. KGV, 15. So it's about twice what Sneaky said for the Halo one.
I'm pulling up the Pillar of Autumn right now, which is known as one of the thickest ships.
Oh, two.
Armor.
Control F armor.
Yeah, basically, that's what I'm doing. It was wrapped in the thickest, latest titanium hull. Blah blah blah.
Don't tell me it's
Basically.
literally right. It's literally called the thickest, and they don't actually give us like a measurement.
Can't see any.
No, can't see any. Let's go with hull. Several meters thick. Okay, that's what it gives us for a vague.
Yeah,
Several meters thick.
that's
But okay, so
that's
fair enough.
sizable, yeah.
Several meters thick.
Fair enough, yeah.
55 meters is
Still
a bit
kind of
much.
over.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, I mean, if it's like hundreds of kilometers long and wide,
It's not.
Then,
Is it
yeah.
hundreds?
scroll up, check. I think it was like 500 kilometers long or something.
It's
55 by 80 by
55
302 kilometers. Yeah.
by 80
So,
by 302 kilometers. Wait,
Yeah.
if
That's
it's
a-
wait, hold on a second.
Seems
How can its
fairly-
armor be 55 meters thick? Oh wait, 55 kilometers
Yeah.
by
What-
80
what?
kilometers
Yep.
Okay.
by 302 kilometers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
With its
what I'm reading.
armor being 55 kilometers in every direction.
55
Okay.
meters.
55 meters, yeah, sorry. Meters in every
Yeah.
direction. Okay, yeah.
It's a 1 to 1,000 scale, you know.
Yeah, shut up.
This thing
Uh,
is a space station.
Yeah, it's practically a space station, which is
It's-
fairly impressive.
yeah. I mean, probably bigger, honestly. It's like, asteroid
I
sized.
suppose at that point the thick armor might be necessary just for in terms of internal pressure.
Yeah, structural stability.
No, it's I still think 55 meters is a bit much for thickness.
Yeah, it's a little overkill.
Yeah, like,
Especially when it's
mm.
made out of I'm assuming not steel.
Yeah.
This is made out of some
Something I'm-
like super sci-fi metal. Then we're way past the overkill territory.
Yeah.
I still don't think even if it was made of steel there would be well, especially steel just in general because steel doesn't do too well in space. We mostly make shit out of aluminum alloys and steel alloys.
Yeah, well, I think that's more, to get it up into space, and still is fucking heavy
Well, I
compared
mean,
to the
yes,
alloys.
Yeah. Still, it's just metal that rusts when you're in space is not exactly a.
Well, I mean, rust is just oxidation, right?
I know.
Yeah.
So
There's
there's
plenty
also
of
oxygen
metals that don't
there.
oxidize though.
True.
Yeah, but would steel oxidize in a vacuum?
Yeah.
I mean, internally it
question.
would, because you're circulating oxygen throughout the entire internals of the ship. And
Let's
I
see.
suppose if you had
No. Yeah,
Guess
alright,
you-
so
yeah, I guess you
in
have to
space
layer
there's no
some-
atmosphere with any oxygen to react with, so any iron in space will not rust.
any air in space will not rust.
Any iron.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough then, I suppose.
Yeah, so like it wouldn't rust, but it's still like a bad material for space applications due to weight.
Oh yeah, wouldn't its conductivity also be a
An
minor
issue.
issue?
Potentially, yeah.
I suppose it would be.
Actually, yeah, steel interferes with radio signals, but good.
Yeah.
Just try calling back to Houston in this.
Sorry, blah blah blah.
The Americans come in iron coffins.
Do you see any possible entry points to the ship interior? Not for the Memora. However, sir, I do detect a small breach in the hull. With the 55 meters of armor.
That's
That's sizable breach.
Yeah, that's a big concern. That's a really big concern. If I was flying a spaceship and then I encountered the largest spaceship to ever exist with 55 meters thick armor, and then I find a hull breach, I would be like, I would love this ship, but nope,
Maybe.
fuck
maybe
this,
it's
I'm
time
out
to
of here.
go. Let's just leave.
Just call it quits right here. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Hull breach 55 meters thick. Yeah, no. Sounds good enough for me, I said with a clap. As I made my way towards it. Towards what?
The ship.
But the VI is flying.
Yeah. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Sir, I must warn you, my scanner is detecting large quantities of debris close to the ship. Well, I would say so. Remnants of other ships, all of them are unregistered, but with paint marks from patterns of the black jackets. That means this ship has one hell of a defense system. Irrelevant. If there was one, I would have spotted energy fluctuations. You did spot energy fluctuations. Not to mention that we would have been attacked already. Not true.
I mean, depends. If he's like a few kilometers away from a several 100-kilometer long ship,
Yeah.
close enough.
I suppose.
I'd say.
Maybe it's just not in range of the turret that killed those ships.
Yeah, but unlikely. With a ship that big, they'd have a bigger bubble of defense.
That's fair.
There'd be a bigger point defense for that much area.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, also
Or they
55
need to
meters
use, like,
thick armor.
billions
He
of
might
them.
just, fucking ram people,
Yeah. Ram a
Irrelevant.
tiny ship.
Stupid
It's way more
question. I
maneuverable.
apologize. Basically, there might be pirates on board already, is what you're trying to say. Pirates was a fancy way of calling space transporters, like myself, who had very deep anger issues and were prone to violent outbursts. Being a freelance transporter didn't take much effort. You landed on a dock, went to a bar, asked around. A couple questions later, you had yourself an odd job. Anyone with a decent ship and gun could do it. The most common transportation gigs was take this guy or this package here or there. Had a small adventure, never losing sight of the star I was somewhat aiming for. There was a couple of assassination gigs, whacks, as they're called, available in every pit stop, but I never took them. Those were not my thing, even if the guy or guys deserved it. They usually came from mid-level crime lords seated in some bar or bartender with a good set of eyes and ears, always on the lookout for people who needed a job. But I was a pilot, not a killer. But you're a pilot that doesn't fly their own ship? Because earlier, author, you did mention that you had your main character have the VI fly the ship for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure means you can't also have the main character call themselves a pilot. If the VI's been flying the ship for them for the past 3 years.
Do kind of be like that.
That's like saying, oh yeah, I'm a professional driver, but I only use the auto drive feature on the Tesla.
I mean, that's an easy way to crash. Honestly.
It's an easy way to run over minorities.
Base? Let's go.
No, but like actually, it's been a problem, Max.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. It's
Yeah.
gamer time. Yep.
They've had
It's a non-issue.
Literally just the same shit as Connect being racist. Anyone remember that story?
Yeah, I remember that story. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but like for real, the AI has issues detecting darker skinned people in lower light conditions. So
Yeah. No,
which makes sense.
Yeah, oh no,
Yeah.
it does. It's just
It's based.
The idea is that something as simple as go from point A to B was autopilot, but for more delicate stuff, he was the pilot. Yeah, you should probably delineate that.
Specify that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just a simple thing is like I let the VI handle the basic stuff.
He handled the more precise, the things that required a delicate touch.
Yeah.
Like that classic
Even
line.
something as simple as like as I took control of the ship to handle docking next to this.
I mean, docking would be more like next to the big ship. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair.
like sure the AI in theory can do it itself because it's a stationary object. In practice, I don't like having any more scratches than necessary on my hull.
Mm-hmm. Self-defense in the middle of a job I can understand to a point, but nothing that involved straight offense. For 3 years, there were more. I've been under control of the VI myself. She handled the basic stuff. I handled the stuff and got more fast. Yeah, there you go. Nailed it.
Yeah.
That right there fixes it.
Honestly, that's one of the things that Max and I usually have so many problems with in stories, both fan fiction and original amateur writing, where it's like the idea is fine, but the way it was worded was so poor, and it was such an easy fix that it's frustrating that it wasn't fixed.
Yeah, well, it's because we're
Yeah.
falling into a very common problem, which is I don't think it's inherent bias, but it's a very similar concept where because I know what I'm talking about, clearly other people know because I'm describing.
Dunning-Kruger. I
It's what?
believe I believe it's involved with the Dunning-Kruger.
Not quite Dunning-Kruger.
Well, I know Dunning-Kruger is in specifically that smart people think they're stupid and stupid people think they're smart. I was more saying it's involved with that sort of effect where the smart person knows
It's
something,
similar-
so they believe
similar,
that
yeah.
other people would also know it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It has a specific name, but
I hate no.
it's
Yeah.
it's one of the biases, I think.
Yeah,
But it's a very
I know what
to
you're
it,
talking about. I just forget which one. Yeah.
Part of it is that like if it was a physical medium, it would very much be a show don't tell moment. But show don't tell is much more difficult in purely writing.
Yeah. It's the same issue I have with gamer fix when it comes to written narrative, because you have to balance the gamer stuff with the fact that it's also written and it's not a visual thing. Like you can't have the GUI, for example, in a gaming story. You can't constantly mention, he looked at his GUI and then he looked at his GUI and he looked at his GUI and he looked, because it kind of devalues the whole point of it being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why the gamer as a comic works decently well.
Right, because you can just
there's actually a thought.
Hmm?
Like program a GUI system and then insert screenshots into it if there's a site that actually supports adding screenshots to the text.
I suppose.
I think that would
Yeah,
work a lot
But
better
I was
than just
more
writing
talking
out.
about published, printed work sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. But like still, with the ability to insert screenshots, that could be avoided very easily.
You know what website
And
can
it
do
also
that?
it gets even weirder in gamer stories when it's like, yeah, the person that got this power doesn't actually understand video games. Like, I haven't called it a GUI at all with Shiro and the one chapter I've done. It's just sometimes these transparent boxes just assault his face.
Right.
Yeah.
Arn, you know what website lets you do inline linking?
No.
AO3.
Life is pain.
Life is pain. But I know I'm the weirdo when it comes to reading, so whatever. I grew up reading Pulp Fictions, in case you couldn't tell by my writing. No, we could tell. I'm used to tell, not show. When it comes to reading and writing, had to learn the opposite for this shit. No, it really depends on the style of story you're going for, whether it's a short story, a longer story, a series, one shot, that sort of thing. It also depends highly on the genre you're writing for. As say an action story is going to do more telling, not showing, when it's like, oh yeah, the guy's eating a meal. But if the story is like a comfort genre story about some guy's quest to go to visit every major restaurant in every town in the world, then you're obviously going to be spending a lot more time showing about the food instead of telling, because that's the point of the story. So it's really highly dependent on what you're writing for and the length you're writing for. So I typically give the advice to people who are starting out writing to stick with what they know, to not really push their boundaries, because they do have to get a feel for creative writing first. Because I see a lot of people, oh, this is my first story, and then they completely fail at every aspect of writing the story because they tried creative writing for the first time, but also writing for a fandom that's crossing over into another fandom. Also, it's a fusion world. Also, it's gamer powers. Also, it's this and this thing and this thing, and it's an AU fusion world with gamer powers where the main character doesn't exist anymore, and it's this OC. Also, this thing over here is different. And it just becomes so much. They try to take on so much at the same time that it just inevitably crashes.
And sometimes, if you actually do have something that's considered a small gem, and other writers want to cooperate with you,
Yeah.
say no.
Yeah.
Just say no.
Poor Max.
Did that
Poor
twice.
Max.
Technically done that with 4 different authors, 2 for each story.
Hey, now
You know what
we
happened to
actually
those
got pretty
stories?
far, and
They died.
No,
No, not the one with you. Here's the thing. The one with you was fine because we were interacting live each night.
True.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about the 2 stories before that.
Uh,
Dark Souls died because we lost some of the willpower partially due to Dark Souls 2 kinda not living up to expectations,
that's true.
but
We
also
did.
because things got really busy.
Yeah, you dropped out of college. I had finals, and then more finals, and then I got a job, and then you got a job, and then you lost your job, and I lost my job.
Then I got the same job back, and then I moved on to a different job, and now I'm on yet another different job, but this one will actually stick around.
Yeah.
It's a cycle of life.
It is a horrible cycle of life.
Yeah, well,
If Nicky
what
Kurt
was
has
it
a job, he
before
will lose it.
with Apocalypse? You were like writing your part and then sending it to him, and then he would write his part and send it back to you using the fanfiction system.
We would check
yes.
like,
Doc
okay,
exchange.
actually, no, that's what I did with someone else. With APOC, we did something way worse.
Word document, email.
No. All right, I published my chapter. Let me know how you do. And we just swapped.
Yeah, right.
We did it worse.
God.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that
Jesus
sounds
Christ.
fucking
My first actual
interesting.
co-op was like we would just send the doc back and forth, and that really kind of inflated both of our story word counts as a result. Then APOC and I would just publish things, and Sneaky, you were part of that for all of 2 chapters, remember?
Yes, I was.
And then the only story that I personally take pride in that I co-opted on was the one where we spent hours going into early morning researching and writing and just doing dialogue back and forth.
All right, this intro part of the chapter should only take around 700 words, so we should be able to get this done really quickly. 9 hours later, 7,000 words later. Max, I think we fucked up.
Yeah, don't say.
But you know what? It was worth it because it was a much better chapter.
I liked it. I really loved it. I honestly, the Dark Souls story is one of those few stories that I'm able to look back on and be like, I really liked how it turned out.
Yeah, one day we will finish it.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just all of my writing, all of my desire for writing has been in other things.
Yeah.
The year is
Both,
20XX.
like,
Max and
personal
Sneaky still
projects.
hasn't finished their story.
Funny.
Fox mains rule melee. Everyone perfect shines everything.
Fox mains rule melee. Okay. Yeah. Implying that melee is still a community by that time.
I mean, that's where the whole 20XX joke comes from.
That's fair enough.
So, yeah.
Anyway, so
Melee's eternal.
I
We're just
reached the
sitting here
main
as a
door of my ship and activated the umbilical cord, a large cylindrical tube made out of thick plastic.
He was bursted from the ship.
He was
Oh,
birthed
God.
from the ship, yes. That came with almost every ship to ease access to certain tight entry spots. I grabbed a gun with a belt holster and a single earbud. Oh no, he can't hear us. He's wearing his AirPods.
Oh god, oh fuck. There are pirates. Get down. Oh no.
Stay in communication with the VI, then put some protective space gear, which doubled as an anti-radiation suit and helmet with an air recycler for the whole breathing in out of space thing. Extended the shields to keep the debris away. I said, Captain Hawks, I am forced to remind you that the standard protocol for a situation like this dictates that. I stopped it on the spot. I'm well aware of the regulations by the Space Travel and Findings Commission. The STFC.
Government.
Government.
Wee.
I'm not about to give away the
Government in
discovery
my
of a
space
lifetime.
and cap fantasy. Cringe.
Some undeserving suit who sits in his office all day long, let alone be happy with only a co-finder credit and an insulting percentage. This is gonna make me famous. Etch my name into the history books. Can you imagine the secrets inside a ship like this? I'm unable to, sir. Right, because you're computer software without ambition. I would also like to point out that Elon Musk has already declared Mars an independent country.
Yep. It's true. They will
Yes.
not follow any Earth laws.
He already declared that.
I like that he thinks that matters.
I mean, all I'm saying is that Elon Musk has already skipped to Red Faction.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
We were all playing Civilization.
We haven't even gotten to Mars yet, and he's already like, alright, time to rebel against Earth.
Hell yeah, boys.
Maybe he's just a really big fan of things like Red Faction and Gundam.
I wouldn't be
Maybe
surprised.
that's all it is.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked by this information. Speaking of Tesla,
Stonk.
stonk go up.
Oh.
So, Tesla had a little bit of buyback today from the banks. And I was like, stonk go down? No. Grug thinks stonk go up. So,
Wait, hang on. The bank said a buyback and it still climbed?
$200 profit, baby!
Oh my god.
Funny line goes, wee!
Stock market doesn't make sense.
Grug thinks stonk go up.
Stonk goes, brr.
Tesla stock is run by the orcs.
I hate the fucking stock market.
Funny line.
I have never seen a perfect example of like economic what the fuckery as the stock market. Like The stock market doesn't care about your math. It only cares about your feelings.
I see. That's what I love. Where it's like, oh, this is the theta, and this is the degradation delta, and you got to calculate these two together to get an average market trend of. I'm just like, no. Get your fucking math out of here. Grug think line go up.
I mean, that's literally how it goes. If more people think
Hang
the
on,
line
wait,
go up and the
wait.
line go down,
Wait, Sneaky, are you telling me the
it's better.
stock from last night it went from 600 to 800? Or you made it
No,
$200?
I made
Sneaky made
$200 profit.
Okay, so you went ahead and took the. Okay, so you took the dive we were discussing.
Oh yeah. I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Line go up. Let's go. Grug think line go up. Gonna buy some water futures.
Stock, oh God, the stock market is just that ultimate example of like you can't trust the stock market with the economy.
No.
Stock market doesn't care about the economy.
Stock market is the economy.
Stock market line go up. When stock market sad and unappeased, line go down. Grug keep stock market appeased, line go up.
Line goes brr.
Line go brr.
Maybe it's your gremlin powers activating. Maybe instead of accidentally buying back, they accidentally sold it all, and that was a temporary increase. So if you don't sell now,
well, it wasn't a corporate buyback. It was a bank buy, which means the bank was buying stock equal to $5 billion.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, and even I'm sitting here like, here's the thing. I don't need to understand stocks to understand that the bank is buying anything. Its value should inherently go down because banks kind of fuck everything up somewhat.
That's true, but with that money, Tesla then turned around and said, "Hey, now that we have $5 billion, we're gonna build 4 more gigafactories." And everyone was like, "Ah, yes, I see."
No, I hope Elon says, "I think stock is too high again."
Oh my God, please no, Elon, let me sell first.
I'd like to get it.
See, that's the worst part about holding Tesla stock, because at any moment Elon might go on Twitter and be like, stock too high.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, Trump could tweet anything, and the stock market would just go fucking bananas. So, like,
I love
Tesla as
so
a gamble.
much.
Trump.
I think oil's too high. Oil fucking crashes.
Oil goes negative. Whoops.
Oh God. I love it. It's great. Economy, how does it work? Some people will tell you with math. Other people will tell you that you have to get your incense right.
Oh, to be fair, economies are mostly math-based. The stock market is its own, like, horrifying monstrosity.
There is math behind it. It's just not
The
always
stock market is the eldritch
confusing, and
entity.
You have to satisfy the machine spirit.
Doesn't have the highest success rate.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's like, I'm gonna go in, blah blah blah. All the previous, remembered forever. This no ticket. What about your previous adventures? Those are good too. Don't get me wrong. They're fine. Helps pay the bills. Some people remember me. Just be in space with you. Thank you, sir. Isn't enough. Sure yes. I'm pumped. Listen, you need to try and hack into their systems. Oh, that big old whiff really fucked me up.
Whiff of the hack.
Whiff of air. I sucked in some air.
Oh God.
Sounds about right for you.
Yeah.
It's about to go.
I breathed. I can't go. I'm sorry, I just don't have the vocal cords to properly go.
Yep.
That's fair.
Honestly, the first time I heard Callie do that, I'm like, oh, cool, other people do that noise too. I'm not crazy. But, like, that's usually the noise of someone who hasn't had a drink of water, and apparently she just doesn't drink outside of streams.
No.
That's
Hydration.
the only thing I can assume is that she just does not consume water unless she's on a camera.
I mean, there is a reason why she had mandated hydration checks.
Yeah. It's not wrong.
You know what? I think it'd be fun to interview not the Hololive members, but the individual managers.
I would absolutely love getting the HoloLive managers, all of them, including the Japanese ones. I would love to get them in for an interview. It's like, yeah, so you're the manager that manages Hachima. How do you feel about that? Do they pay you in alcohol yet?
Oh God, what kind of shit would Coco's manager have to say?
I'm pretty sure at this point, Coco's manager probably just used lines of coke behind the scenes.
Lines
That's
Coco.
how every single time he has to deal with Coco, just. Okay, what was your request?
It's true.
Oh god, and then fucking meanwhile, the English manager is just babysitting the entirety of EN.
Yeah, it's like, oh, how
Did you remember to eat today? Did you remember to drink water? Have you taken a nap yet?
God, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially just like a kindergarten for 25 to 30 somethings. Except it's all, recorded live on the internet for our amusement. With gameplay.
Oh, that's a low blow, Caesar. That's a low blow.
Yeah, that's kind of a big oof.
If someone else bumps into this and the commission gets there before I said, well, I'm screwed, I won't be able to claim, acknowledge, I must point out there's a big possibility. I might need to lower shield output to conserve energy or shut down altogether. Do what you must, starting insertion. So he pressed some buttons, and he entered into the hatch, umbilical cord floating towards the hull, magnetic pads on my boots. Every time I felt like I was being drunk, except my thoughts weren't gibberish. That's fair enough. I turned my helmet's exterior lights on to find I landed on what seemed to be a large metallic corridor. Some walls had blast points on them, other walls looked old and tampered with, cables and tubes sticking out. To my left, there was nothing but a giant shutter. Tried some hitting switches, nothing, no power. To my right, there was a path cut out to the left. Only way to go. Corridor stretched on for several meters, nothing but silence and pitch dark blackness. For the very minute except for the very minute light my helmet produced. For whatever reason, the walls seemed to get cleaner and cleaner as I moved towards the forward until all of them were pretty much pristine. Not surprising. 5 minutes later, I reached the working door. Chambers to current technology. Pressed a few buttons, gravity returned, felt like I'd eaten too much. Put my hand in my holster and opened the door. Freeze! I didn't bother with my blaster. There was a group of 8 men and 6 women, all dressed in black clothes and jackets, armed to the teeth with enough rifles to make a gun enthusiast blush, and all of them aimed straight at me. Pirates. I had walked straight into a trap.
Didn't?
Yes, he did say there was no life signs.
Yeah.
He did make mention that the hull itself was too thick to scan through.
Yeah, but then there shouldn't have been any mention about life signs to begin with.
That's also true. You make a fair point.
Couldn't have found in life signs.
I believe we refer to this as Chekhov's gun, but this was no, that's the wrong thing. Chekhov's gun is if you mention something, then it will probably be used, even though I hate that theory so much.
Yeah.
I hate it so much because there are people who Sneaky, this is the same thing where it's like, listen, just because this is a common trope or theory doesn't mean it is a hard rule.
So, one other little comment I want to make on this summary. Now that it's larger, does anyone notice a minor grammatical error?
Yeah, no, at the very beginning. Oh, wait, did you not catch that at the start?
No,
I thought we were just ignoring it.
I was gonna say, so in the spirit of giving, and because we've come this far, I was going to give him my feedback of what I would write for the summary. Having read his first chapter, getting a general idea of the theme and the direction the story seems to be rolling in.
Yep.
So, give me a moment as I put down my mic and take up these two hands and place them on the keyboard.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Start running.
He's about to commit crimes against the English language.
There goes the typing.
Oh, click, clack, click, clack. Well, Draydon, you see, Sneaky is a boomer. And he,
Why are you using Windows 7? I don't know. What do you have
Why am I
against
using Windows 7? Why aren't you using the superior operating system that is Windows 7?
Oh, how much you want to bet he's a Windows 10 apologist?
Oh, he's absolutely a Windows 10 apologist. I know his
Not
type.
really,
I've
yeah.
seen him. I've seen his desktop. You cannot hide from me, Dre. You Windows 10 user.
even before he
What did
actually
I
uses
come
the
back
fucking
to?
Mac OS.
It just came with my PC. Then why are you getting upset about Windows 7?
Top 10 questions Science still can't answer. Why are you gay?
Why has that been seeing a resurgence lately?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Windows.
Windows 7 is absolutely poggers. Make sure it's grammatically correct, adding a comma.
Hey, well, I mean, at least it's not Linux.
There is literally nothing wrong with Linux if you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah, except for the fact that, you know, it can't run shit ton of games and other programs. The support base
That is a gap that has been slowly closing over the last 2
slowly,
years.
yeah, but it still exists. I know Valve has been doing a lot for them, and you know that's great and all, but
The only reason that's working is because Valve made SteamOS.
yeah, and there's also the secondary effect that installing Linux automatically adds 200 pounds to your weight and also gives you a fedora. Actually, just glues the fedora to your head.
I was about to say, if I get a free Fedora deal, it doesn't sound so bad. But then you added the glue, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you're now stuck as a neckbeard, and well, I don't think that's a fate anyone would want.
There's my recommended personal philosophy idea summary quotation mark.
Very epic.
How the fuck is Caesar operating off of Windows ME?
I think that's what's commonly known as a joke.
Yeah, full disclosure, I do not actually use Windows ME. I remember a specific bug back in XP that could only be fixed by installing all of the Windows from the start.
Genius.
Because of how the Windows operating system worked, where each iteration of Windows would literally just be a new version of the operating system built on top of the old version of the operating system. There was a specific bug that happened in XP where the files of an older version of the operating system would be improperly downloaded, but it wouldn't be able to recognize it. So to fix it, you actually had to like start at like Windows 95 and upgrade all the way to 98 and then to XP
Damn.
to fix it.
Sneaky, own your summary here.
Yeah.
I would suggest a comma between regardless and intent, and change intent of claiming to intent own claiming.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. A column, you say?
A comma.
Comma.
Did I say column?
You said column.
Huh. We could
Yeah.
try that too, but I don't know if it'll do any good.
Alright, let me put a column in then. Alright, the column has been added.
Yes, it's now more structurally stable.
The sentence is now more structurally stable. Do not worry.
The integrity of this sentence is now a lot better. Very good. It will not collapse.
My eyes bleed.
Very good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've never found a mod for Windows Notepad that allows it to be inverted. So you just have to deal with fucking light mode.
Well, I mean,
Isn't
could
that
just,
what
like, not use
Notepad
Notepad?
is for? Surely that has that.
What's
Notepad
for what now?
has.
Notepad
Yeah.
plus plus.
Yeah, but it's got a gray background, so it doesn't need a dark mode. Well, not
Fair.
gray, it's like a
Off shade.
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I just use Atom, honestly. That's mostly for coding, though.
I mean, that's why I use Notepad++ because I used the code. And that
Yeah,
was
I mean, it's
useful
kind of-
for HTML all the way down to PowerShell. So
Yeah. I mean, Atom is basically just that, but newer and a lot better.
yeah, we'll agree to disagree that you're wrong. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna about cover it for tonight. We're at 9:30 mark. I hope it was all educational for you guys. Because it certainly wasn't for me.
We should probably try and get this summary to Caesar somehow.
I mean, it's up to him.
I mean, you could just, like, copy paste into the chat.
By the placing of the column, the sentence will no longer collapse under its own weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's important to make sure to columnize your sentences, everyone. You gotta make sure they can hold up the rest of the story.
You gotta build, like, structural supports,
Okay.
or else it will all just crumble.
I think I should enter that fanfiction contest for Amelia. And I'm
Oh.
gonna start using columns. We're
Oh.
gonna make this a new standard in the English language.
Oh god, oh god, oh fuck. He's gonna build the fucking story.
Gonna build this story column by column.
There's got to be use for it somehow, right?
Who knows? The world may never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you all had fun.
is
We will
relative.
be back with more fan fiction on Friday because 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because there is always more, and it does always get worse.